would have said, but you got to back it up with.
All that matters is today. Stay compressing, man. 3.5 hours, do this together, man. It starts with us, it ends with us.
Hey, no cheers! Hey, God!
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
Major injury scare at Raiders camp today. Kwity Paye left the field early with trainers and did not return. Coach Koob said he's calling it a precautionary measure, you know. But anytime your star free agent edge rusher, $48 million to be exact, goes down, alarms are going off. Here's the full breakdown on Paye, plus the update on Cousin Kirk and the cornerback 2 battle and the field goal kicker position. So thank y'all for hacking in. Welcome to the BART, the Bay Area Raider Talk. I'm here with my brethren. I got my nizzle, pizzle for shizzle. And you know I got the brethren. Reverend Raider Twine. What's up with my brothers?
It's all good in the neighborhood, dog. It's Friday. You know what I'm saying?
It's Friday. Yeah.
How you get fired on your day off?
I know, right? And speaking of Friday, I don't know if y'all know or not, but next Friday evening, we kicking off the Fight or Flight Club. You see it, it's a roster full. And we got a couple more spots left for future episodes. You might want to get on it while you can, because once it get to a certain point, we're gonna lock it down. You see some heavy hitters on there. You see Raider Twine on there. You see Pizzle on there. You see the Good Raider. You see the Raider Rebel. You see Jason First Downs. You see Yerb. You see Sacktown Raider Mike. And I know y'all see the person in the corner over there, Severe, and myself. So hack into that. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel, because it will be next week, 8:30 West Coast time. And if you are part of my membership, you will get to see the full episodes. You'll get to see the episodes anytime you want to, because after the Fight Club ends that Saturday morning, these content creators, they're going to put it on their membership. So that entices you guys to get these exclusive content. But for the first couple of weeks, everybody going to be able to see it, but it ain't always going to stay like that, because yesterday's price may not be tomorrow's price. So hack in while you can. Let me thank a few of the people that hit the BART early and they paid their fare. Don't be a fare raider. Hit that like button. Sacktown Raider Mike, like always. What's up, my brother?
What's cracking?
Jack Yates. What's good with Jack Yates?
What's up,
Gusto, what's good with you, brother?
What's cracking?
Let's get it going. Oh, we got Purple with the Raiders. Yeah, we got
James.
Oh yeah, and last but not least, we do have Webb in here, Frank Webb. Let's get it. I'm juiced. So we're gonna talk about a few things. We're just gonna kind of go over some things that they're talking about in camp. I haven't really been paying super attention, because I'm looking forward to when they start padding up, when they start putting on the full gear, the full metal jacket, and let the bullets fly. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and put my ear to the street a little bit, and maybe you guys can tell me some things that you guys want to talk about. Put a Q in the chat, you chat raiders, and put the question mark. And if you want us to answer it right away, consider donating to the channel. You can also be a sponsor of the show. Last sponsor of the show was Mr. Raider First Down. We appreciate it. All donations are appreciated, because it's a lot of work and time that go into this. And we have to, kind of help our families understand what all the grind is about without getting paid yet. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. You don't have to do it, but be a bud and buy us a bud. So we're gonna talk about Kwity Paye, the CB2 position. We're gonna talk about my favorite Raider, AOC. We're gonna talk about the Tokyo Toe, JPJ, the grumblings about him again. Oh my God. And is Max back? And we're gonna talk about Cousin Kirk. I know y'all seen the video. A lot of people talking about him. Grandpa, they call him Paw Paw. And we're gonna talk about Vita Vea, Vidi Vecci. That's what I call him. And then we're going to talk about Nando sexual. So if you hear that anywhere else, you only got it from one person. So we're gonna get into that. He gonna explain to y'all what a Nando sexual and are you a Nando sexual? Shout out to Dark. What's up with you, Dark? And Ready First Down. What's good with you, my brother? And I appreciate y'all for
What's
hacking in.
going on?
So let's get into it. Let's start off with the obvious. Mr. Kwity Paye, Mr. $48 million man. I said that we were overpaying for him. Some people didn't like that I used the word overpay. Um, I mean, it's subjective, but let's talk about Mr. 48 million. He did walk off the field today with the trainers, did not return. Malcolm Kuntz did take his position, for the rest of practice. And Coach Kubiak said it's a precautionary measure because they want to make sure he's ready to be as 100% as possible when the full pads goes on and the full practice occurs. So, initial thoughts. What are you guys' initial thoughts when it comes to this? Is it something to like spaz out about, or is it something just like he said, a precautionary measure and not to look too much into it? Let's start with you, Pizzle, my nizzle.
I don't think we should look too much into it right now. I think it's just something that happened. It's no big deal, bro. He
Yeah.
might, maybe bent his ankle the wrong way or stubbed his toe or something. Who knows? Maybe as long as it ain't turf toe, we're good though, because that'll last all season.
Right? We don't want the turf toe. You know how the turf monster be killing it. Jack
Oh
Yates
yeah.
said Jack Yates said it's 420. It's 420 somewhere, y'all. It just
Yeah.
turned it's 420 on the East Coast, so get in where you fit in. Smoke them if you got them. Juan,
Sure.
how you feeling, my brother?
Man, this is nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, anytime, a player does walk off the field, there is some concern, but it's not a huge concern. It's just like our coach said, it's a preliminary thing. We want to see these guys make their money when the pads are on, and right now the pads are not on. So, if we need to hold somebody out, if we need to babysit them a little bit, to get them to pads, then, that's exactly what we're going to do. Similar to, not the same situation, but similar to what they're doing with Jamal McCoy. They monitoring him, making sure he's okay, because they want to get him to where we can really evaluate where these players are and where their worth is, and that's when the pads are on. So this is not nothing to be really concerned about. Definitely kind of keep a side eye emoji on it, like, keep an eye on it, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely not something to throw the red flag.
Yeah, I'm along the same mindset as you guys. I think it's a nothing burger. Just as long as it ain't nothing like a tweaked knee or sprain or something like that that'll cause him to be limited. Even if he can get back out there, it limits him in his ability. I don't think his position is going to be in danger or anything like that. Because even if he wasn't to play in any of the preseason games, I'm pretty sure week one they're gonna stick his $48 million butt right on out there because we need something. Like my boy Pizzle always say, what you say, Pizzle? I need more for my. I need more bang for my buck, man.
Yep.
I need more bang for my buck. So I think it's a nothing but burger.
And I think also too, Black, you said that in your fantastic reporting that he walked off the field. So again, if he's walking off the field, it's not anything, too bad. There was no phrases of he limped off the field. He was laboring off the field. There was none of that wording connected to him walking off the field. So he might have felt a little tightness somewhere, and they decided, hey, we ain't gonna rush you out. Rush the situation, especially because there's no pads.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. J Ro, where you at, J Ro? I got a spot for you right in the middle of this thumbnail, man. I got a spot for you for the Flight Club. I hit you your email. I hope you respond to that. Even if you don't, you can come in and hack in. But I think you'll be a great addition to this as well. Anybody else too? This is for all Raider Nation. Just let me know, and we'll get you on the show. before, I'm the type of person like you better get on the plane before it take off because once it's in the air, it's in the air.
True
But
that.
yeah, good point though, Twan. What you were saying, like he walked off the field. Like at least he didn't get carted off or get airlifted or nothing like that. So I'm happy about that. So a lot of people haven't heard about that, but you know how they'll take something small and do like they do the chicken now, fill it up with that blow up, and it's bigger than it actually is. And I don't want that to be the situation. I know the thumbnail's a little deceiving, but I'm just saying $48 million. I don't want to be hearing too much about you other than you looking good out there in camp. So
No,
shout out to Kwity Paye. Take care of yourself.
I think it definitely is, you know what I'm saying? Anytime there's money, big money involved, you know what I'm saying? And let's keep it honest. That's a good amount of money to be, hoping that he's the opposite side of Max Crosby. So there is some worry about it because again, we don't need to be starting week 1 with Waldo out there. You know what I'm saying? And we know who Waldo is if you've been following us, you know what I'm saying? We don't need Malcolm Kuntz week 1, you know what I'm saying? We need Kwity Paye out there week 1, opposite side of Max Crosby.
Yeah, facts. That's facts. We don't need multiple where with Waldo because then it's gonna be where's Waldo, where's Willie, where's Quiddy. And I don't want him to put the quit in Quiddy. So we don't need you to be
Right.
out there half stepping, brother. So make sure, just like we've been doing all off season, whenever there's any little thing that could sidetrack you from being the best version of yourself, we're gonna put you on the shelf until it's time to really until we really have to. And I love the support system that we have in that fashion because I never really seen that approach. But what that is telling me is if you don't succeed, it's not because the franchise failed you, it's because you're failing the franchise.
Right.
What up, Raider Paul? Good to see you.
Raider Paul was good with it. J Rowe, what's up, bro?
What's going on, brother?
All right. I hope you got my email, bro.
Yeah, I did. And I was shooting back at you, man. But what's up, Twan? What up, Pizzle?
What's cracking? How are you?
Good, man. How y'all brothers doing?
Good.
Good. So what you think about Kwity Paye, man?
I didn't, so that's that, I was asking, what happened to him? I didn't hear about it. What happened?
Well, essentially, what happened was he walked off. I don't know the extent of the injury. He walked off, and essentially he went to the locker room or whatnot, to the training table, wherever, and he never returned to practice. And then when they asked Coach Kubiak about it, he just said, it's just precautionary, nothing to be alarmed about. It's just something that we're just going to take, like he says, a moving target. So we're just going to make sure that we stay on point, like Stacey Adams.
Okay, so we know these things are going to happen in camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
These things are gonna happen. That's why we got backups. We got these young boys. We got Keyron Crawford, Cian Sloan. You know what I mean? We got these young boys. You know what I mean? Just in case this kind of stuff happens, but it's gonna happen. It's a I don't know what do you even call it? It's inevitable, right?
Yeah, inevitable it is. Yeah, so I'm just hoping that it's not nothing serious because they're gonna default and say that it's not that serious until it's serious. So
of course,
yeah.
And also at this time, remember that they don't have to technically report anything. So there is on the flip side, there is a possibility where maybe Kubiak is not really telling everything that's really going on with, with Kwity Paye because he doesn't have to, there's no, at this point, he's not mandated to fully give a health report on these guys. So, I mean, everybody that that is injured, they've already been reported. You know what I'm saying? We know Max Crosby was dealing with his injury because that was what happened last year. You know what I'm saying? We already know what was going on with McCoy because, again, before he came into the NFL, there had to be a, you know what I'm saying, that when they went to the combine, they all, you know what I'm saying, they had to get their medical reports. Well, any injuries right now necessarily don't have to be reported. So, you know what I'm saying? It could be a situation where Kubiak's telling you exactly what's going on, or he might be in a situation where he because he might be holding those cards close to his chest.
Yeah, that would be smart too if that is the case, because it might be something that might, let's say, if it does take like a week or two for him to get back, then teams aren't already having a heads up on it. I mean, they're going to
Solidify that for us. So I'm looking at somewhere close to, you know what I'm saying, close to 10 sacks. You know what I'm saying? If he's at 9, I'm cool with that, but he definitely needs to be in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm with Juan. I expect at least double-digit sacks. I expected double-digit sacks from him, and get out there and perform. He is a number 1 overall draft pick, or he's in the first round. You know, he's high first-round draft pick. So, you know, we should expect some type of compensation for that high draft pick, right? So, you know, you're supposed to be producing. If you're, you know, supposedly that you should be producing that. Now, whether or not, you know, he just had a hard time in that East Coast grind out there in the Indianapolis division, you know, that might be something different. I don't know. Maybe they had his number over there, but we're gonna find out, you know. But yeah, I was looking forward, you know, sacks, maybe a couple of fumbles, you know, forced fumbles, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So Black, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I'm with both of y'all, but here was my thoughts on when we signed Kwity Paye. Like, first of all, we signed him thinking that Max wasn't gonna be here, and they had high hopes for this guy, and then we drafted Keyron Crawford, right? Who I think is gonna be an absolute monster. I think Keyron Crawford is going to be a monster. So y'all go ahead and write that down. J-Rose said that. But I don't expect Kwity Paye. I expected him to do it, you know what I mean, put up large numbers when it came to sacks or anything like that. He's like I don't know, he's one of those guys that you play him and you know what you got in him. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be solid, pretty much. He's going to be a solid guy. He's going to hold the edge or steal the edge when it comes to running lanes, and he's going to push the pocket. He might not get to the quarterback every you know what I mean, every passing down, but he's a solid guy.
He's a Cleveland Farrell.
I thought. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he reminds me of a Cleveland Farrell.
Well, but Pizzle, I'll say this though. I think that playing on a defensive line like what we have now, like playing across from a Max Crosby, I think that could unlock a lot of things with this guy, because he was a monster at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
That boy was a beast.
Yeah, no,
when he played in Michigan.
I'm not doubting that, but the problem is that, like I said, this is a different world than Michigan. You know, I get that. It's a big boy competition. Everybody's as good as him or better. You know what I mean? This is the big boy league.
Well, but Pizzle, like he wasn't like, you know, just like a bum.
No, I'm not saying he is. But he underperformed in his contract year, though, bro.
He hadn't put up great numbers.
No, I get it. Like I said, I'm not calling him a bum or nothing, but he just hasn't hit his expectations, and he didn't do really good in his contract year, so that's why they cut him loose.
Yeah.
I just
I
think
mean,
Pittsburgh, he'll do a lot more playing across from Max than what he did when he was in Indiana. You know what I
Well,
mean?
he got
yeah,
to be on
because
the
he'll,
field for that to happen. So
That
yeah.
too. That too.
that's what we're having
That
this
too.
conversation. So the thing about, go ahead, Pizzle, you had something to say.
Oh, I left already. It's all good.
Oh, okay. No, so I was going to essentially say, but you made an excellent point. He was in his 5th year of his contract. They let him go, and Indianapolis, and they picked up Arden Key.
Yeah.
Now they had similar numbers, but of course they're going to think. I mean, Kwity Paye probably is a better player, but Kwity Paye is, he had 8 sacks, the 2 years before, and then last year he had 4. So the production went down. So they might have seen something like, I don't know if it's worth re-upping his contract at the amount that he's going to ask for. So they released him. So the Raiders decided to
And
get.
Black, I don't mean to cut you off, brother, but I'm just saying, what Kwity Paye was a first round pick, was he not?
He
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Okay.
A high first rounder too, I believe.
So in that situation is politics, right? You have again, he's a number one not number one overall pick, but he's a first rounder, right? So because he's a first rounder, they gave him that 5th-year option because it was a cheap contract. Well, after that, any person that gets out of their rookie contract is going to want to get the bag, right? Well, they kind of identified, they were looking for Kwity Paye to be, that wrecker, the guy that was going to manufacture, be the straw that stirs the drink on that D line. And he just did not completely pan out to be that. Now in this situation, I still stand on him being close to that 10 sack area because I think he's going to run into a lot of sacks because there might, if Max Crosby is flushing quarterbacks on the opposite side, he should be able to clean it up. So we're not asking for him to, be a manufacturer of sacking the quarterback. We just want him to clean up whatever else may be, flowing his way. And I think that'll be, in perspective of, I think, what Kwity Paye really is.
Amen, Twan. I'm with you, bro. I think he's going to catch a lot of the garbage that comes his way.
Yeah, but
I
like
think
you
he's
said,
built that
Twan,
way.
yeah, he's definitely built that way. And like you said, Twan, they brought him in under the guise that he was going to be the Max Crosby, that D line, the straw that stirs the drink. I like that analogy. And now that he doesn't have that pressure, it's on him to just clean up instead of being the person that forced to clean up.
Yep.
And for him, what I expect out of him is I don't expect double-digit sacks, but what I do expect is like 7, 8 sacks to clean up. He does very well in the run, continue to be that. He sets that edge very, very well. And if Max is running you out the house, he should be in the front yard with that thing. As soon as you come running out the house, it's a bap right upside your head because Kwity Paye is not the one with the high motor that's going to necessarily get in there really fast. But if you hold that ball too long, he will get to you. So if Max is flushing them to him, then you set him up and he knock him down. That's how that should work.
And also, fellas, we don't know what Robbie Leonard's defense is going to look like. He could be being asked things to do, and I believe he said in interviews before he could be being asked things to do that he's never been asked to do before. That could unlock his potential. You
Like
know what I
what?
mean? So we don't know yet.
But what could they be asking him to do? They're not asking him to go out there to be the sack leader. That would have been his job had Max not came back. We'd have been asking the world of him. We'd have asked him not necessarily to be Max Crosby, but we need you to take that leadership position. Now we don't need you to be that leader. We just need you to play true to form.
So let me ask you this, Black. Kwity Paye was the first defensive lineman that the Raiders went and got after the so-called, and I'm doing the air quotes, Max trade, right? Or am I wrong with that?
Yeah, no, that's true.
So they thought, or they saw something there where there was something in this guy that could be unlocked. And he's even said it, like I said, if we go back and watch his interviews, he's even said it that he feels like, you know what I mean? Like there's things he couldn't do or wasn't doing in Indianapolis that he feels like he could do here. So I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to go out and get 20 sacks. I'm just saying, like, maybe they weren't calling for him to do those things in Indianapolis. I don't know who their D coordinator was. I don't follow them like that. But I just know that once the Max trade so-called went down, the first DN we went out and got was Kwity Paye.
Well,
So
I think that's
Spy
more.
Tech and all them had to have seen something, bro.
Well, we can kind of surmise that, but also at the same time, when you look at the landscape of the free agency, you have to pick what's there, and I think he just might have been the best option with the best upside that we've seen. I don't think it's like, oh, we see something in him that we can unlock. I don't think that. I just think that he was the best option available, and we threw the bag at him to incentivize him because he was going to ask for a new contract anyway. So we didn't want money to be the issue, and we had it to spend. So that's why I think
Black,
we overspent. But we'll see.
Robbie,
I pray that's not what Spy Tech and them are doing. We just throwing the bag at the best of the worst. Like
No, you throw the bag at the best that's available.
That's what I'm saying. The best of the worst, right? Like what's available is the worst.
Well, who else would you? So okay, let's say we don't get Kwity Paye, and Max leaves. Who do you put there?
What are you? You going to the draft?
But it wasn't that though. Robbie Leonard has put it on tape that he liked Kwity Paye coming out of Michigan. So he already had an idea of what he wanted to do with Kwity Paye, and that's why they pulled the trigger on Kwity Paye, was because Robbie Leonard liked whatever Robbie Leonard liked out of Kwity Paye. There was something in Kwity Paye that he liked, and then when he came over, when Kwity Paye got to the podium, then he talked about how Robbie Leonard talked about how he wanted to use him, and he said, I like how Robbie Leonard wants to use me in the way that he wants to run his defense. So we don't know what that idea is, but there was an idea in mind when they brought Kwity Paye over because of Robbie Leonard liking Kwity Paye back in his college day.
Yeah, Frank Webb says, I ain't gonna put a number on that dude, but I expect him to play all 17 games, and I think that's fair.
I think that's tough, but I get it.
Yeah. So Sam Tonka, welcome, says Ron will surprise fans. Tonka and Lalu should be a big part as well. I agree with that. Okay, well, so Kwity Paye, just get better. We looking out for you. We hope it's not nothing major, and hopefully we can move right along. And speaking of moving right along, the the cornerback 2 position. We know Stokes is the guy on one side, but on the opposite side, there is a battle there. There's a battle between 4 corners. We have Masses, which we've been hearing good things so far in camp about him, but we'll see how that pans out when it comes to tackling, like Kubiak said. They have Darian Porter. And of course we got J-Mac, Jamad McCoy, and don't forget about DCAM. So that is the competition there at the cornerback 2 position, and we're wondering how is that going to pan out. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think it's going to be a pretty stiff competition right there. and hopefully we see who wins, and hopefully they'll be all right and no one gets hurt. That's the most important thing through this whole little thing, this whole little camp thing and everything, is getting everybody in shape and not getting them too dinged up, because everyone's going to get dinged up, right? I mean, it's football. So, but the most important thing is just, solidify your position and let the best player win.
Yeah, I think Masses right now has the lead in regards to the number 2 spot, and I think that's because of the injury recovery of Jamal McCoy. I think they're hoping that Jamal McCoy, slides into that number 2 spot. With Masses definitely in the wings, but right now Masses is getting a lot of praise, a lot of love right now. Before the pads come on. Again, these are things that need to be seen when the pads do come on. But right now, Masses is definitely getting some praise, not just only from the coaching staff, but even from the players. Trey Tucker definitely talked about Masses today, talking about how he's playing and how he's taking things very seriously, even in his early career. So, Porter, I think is still a project, and I'm fine with that. And we do have some guys to allow Porter to get into, who he's really going to be. But right now, I would say Masses, McCoy, then probably Porter, in that order.
And I'm with Pizzle Antoine. Like I believe that they're hyping up Masses, and I think the kid is really good. He's a ball hawk. He'll go and get the ball. But it's like everyone keeps saying, we gotta see what happens when the pads come on. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be the difference maker. Like, and can he come up in the box and make a tackle? Can he set a blocker? Can he, you know what I mean? All those things that we need a corner to do in the NFL. But I'm excited about him. I'm excited about Jamal McCoy. I'm praying for his knee that it stays healthy. You know what I mean? And I just think I'm so I don't even know the word to say, excited or whatever. Like I want to see what a Rob Leonard defense looks like, especially in the secondary. We know he's a hell of a defensive line coach. But what kind of secondary and linebacker coach is he? That's what I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, I think the competition is definitely open. So far, Masses is getting a lot of the praise right now because I think they want to see if he's as advertised. At this level of the camp, he's doing what they expect. But the question is he going to be able to, like you said, J-Ro, shed that blocker, avoid being blocked, go in there and stick your hat in there, maybe stop a running back that's coming towards him or anything like that. I do think, though, with the way our defense is set up, we're set up to stop the run before it even get to the corners, like old school football. Because if your corner making a gang of tackles, that's an issue. But in the new NFL, corners have to have the ability to make tackles because they're as fast as these linemen are getting now. They're pulling downfield. Even if sometimes if a team have a fullback or just however they choose to block it up, you have to still be able to make plays. Now, here's a good point by Raiders First Down, and he says, if we want numbers in combination, Kwity gets 8 to 10, Max 12 to 16, Kuntz and Crawford get 12 combined. We're looking at 30 sacks just right there. And that goes to my point that I've been saying a lot a lot earlier is I'm not so caught up on the numbers as much as the total team sacks because if that means you have to sacrifice your numbers in order for someone else to eat, I'd rather have a culmination of sacks than just one or two guys making sacks because it's easier to scheme that.
Mm.
Thoughts about this? Thoughts about the 30 sacks?
No, hey, you're right, Black. Like look at Baltimore's defense back in the day when they were nasty. Like you never knew where it was coming from. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of defense I would love to have. Like it could be from the safety position, from the linebackers, from the corners, from the edges, from the middle. You don't know. You don't know where it's coming from, and that's what I'm hoping Robbie Leonard brings to this defense, man. Like, it's hard to prepare for us. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would love to see in this Raiders defense.
Yeah, Seattle was the same way last year. There was a who's who on the line. I mean, it wasn't one particular person. They all just kind of did their thing and made plays. So I'd rather see that kind of uniformity than seeing Max go out there and get 15 sacks, but then the other guys have 10 sacks
Exactly.
combined.
Mm-hmm.
Raider first down, another good point. Nakobe Dean is going to get a handful for sure. Then DTs, that's a lot of team production. This is all hypothetical, but not out of bounds. Frank Webb says we want to put the opponent in position to where they are forced to pick their poison. Yes, something we have yet to be able to do with Max Crosby. We brought players in to try to formulate that, but we have so many different players now. We're not relying on one extra player to do that, like a Wilkins, or like the guy we just let go, or even Kuntz. So yeah, I want it to be a who's who on that D line.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a similar, similar thought of how I feel about our wide receivers. I don't think there's necessarily a complete. I mean, outside of the Max Crosby on the D line, but there's no real like complete star over there. I think it's more of a team effort, to get the job done at the wide receiver room. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that kind of bothers me, and I've heard it plenty of times is, oh, we don't need a number one wide receiver because we have Brock Bowers. And I don't think that's the case. Brock Bowers is a tight end. You know what I'm saying? You need to have good at tight end and good at wide receiver. But also with that being said, I think that the effort, collective effort of our wide receivers is going to help even our tight ends. So, yeah, to overall domination, yeah, you want good at every position. You don't want to substitute. You know what I'm saying? Situation similar to kind of like to drive the scenario home where they talk about the D line helps the secondary and the secondary helps the D line. Well, there's going to be situations where the D line does its job and the secondary sucks. And then the next week it's going to be the secondary has done its job, but for some reason the D line can't go home. So you need to have good at both areas so that they help out each other.
Yeah, I can agree with that, and that's why I think they went and drafted so hard on in the safety and the corners in this draft, because they knew they had to shear that up because last year it was just horrible. Like we couldn't do that again.
But Twan and Pizzle, like, let me ask you, why do y'all think that it's going to be so inconsistent, like in that manner? Like, is that a Robbie Leonard thing, or is that a player thing? Is that because I think we're going to get consistency personally from the secondary and the D line.
So
and the linebacker core.
Yeah, no, I get it. What I'm saying is from game to game, when you look at, say we play the Niners one day and then we play the Bengals the next day, right? The one game is going to be like, hey, the D line showed up, but our secondary was horrible. You know what I'm saying? And then the next game, it'd be like, oh, our secondary was good, and you know what I'm saying? That's where it goes hand in hand, right? Where if the D line ain't there, then the coverage kind of gives the D line time to get home, right? So there's going to be times where when you look at the game in totality, there might be one side that actually showed up a little better than the other, but you've got to have talent on both sides in order for that to happen. Because again, there might be a game where the D line carried us through that game, and then the next, you know what I'm saying? Even though we loved how our D line played last week, they may suck the next week, but it was our secondary that helped us carry that game. So that's why you need to have talent on both sides instead of solely relying just on one side of the ball.
Okay, and Twan, this is what I'm saying to you, brother, is that I believe, and I think a lot of us, as far as Raiders fans, hopefully believe, is that that's the difference this year with coaching, is that we're not going to see that type of that. Yes, Twan, that's what we see year after year, was that inconsistency in our team. I don't know. I gotta believe. Look, if I'm gonna keep watching, if I'm gonna keep buying Raiders gear, you know what I mean. If I'm gonna keep going to work every day, and fighting for these guys, I believe that it's gonna be something different this year, man. I just with the coaching that we have, like there has to be some type of consistency where, yeah, we may lose. And we probably will lose a lot of games, but something has to look consistent. That's Twan, that and Pizzle. That's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see one week is the D line, 1 week is the D backs. You know what I mean? 1 week is the linebackers. I don't want to see that. And I know y'all feel the same way. You know what I mean?
Well, with that thought, I echo your sentiment, right? But we got to also keep in mind consistency comes from success, and from that success to expect that in year one of a new defensive coordinator, a whole new dang near defense altogether. There is going to be a level. There's going to be a level of inconsistency. Now, if this was year two, I'm more to what you're saying. Like year two, I don't want to see 1 week is this, and then all of a sudden the next week the D line, they don't have to play great like they did last week, but don't fall off the table. Like we need you to play normal.
It should even in year one. If Robbie Leonard is what we think he can be, and what Kubiak and Spytech and all of them think that he can be, it should at least like everyone is pulling the rope in one direction. You know what I mean?
That's ideally, for sure. That's ideally, but I'm just saying, like, the coach's job is to put the player in position. The player got to make the play. Because there's been many times the player was in position
so
and
that's
missed
what
the
I'm
tackle.
saying. But Black, we've tightened up every level of the defense. Not saying that we're world beaters on the defense, but we've addressed, right, every level of the defense. We've addressed it. Can we say that we've addressed it?
So every week you're gonna play a different kind of a team, right? You're gonna play you're gonna play a team that's got a really good offensive line. So maybe your defensive line isn't gonna be able to get there, but maybe you'll get a linebacker blitz or a corner blitz that'll be able to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think Twan and Black are trying to get across. Is like you got to have multiple angles of attack, because in case they aren't getting home, you got to be able to get home with something else. And the same thing, and buy them, like Twan's saying, buy them time to get home on the back end when they do have that offensive line to be able to, to be able to get in front of them and not make them get those easy 3-yard or 2-yard or 5-yard completions. Right, you're up on. So, that's what I think these guys are talking about, because each week, right, and then next week you're going to face a running team, right? So, or you're going to face Joe Burrow, right? You're saying the Bengals, so you're going to face Joe Burrow, right? Your defensive line is probably going to get home real quick on that, because the Bengals don't really have that good of an offensive line. But if he can get the ball off quick to Chase or whoever he's got over there, then it's going to be a long day, right?
And Pizzle, we're agreeing while disagreeing. Like I'm saying the same thing you're saying. What I'm saying is I'm hoping that's what the Raiders addressed this year, is that we don't look like that this year. You know what I mean? Like we addressed every level of the defense, and we'll see where Robbie Leonard is. We'll see.
You said you wanted something like the Ravens, the 2000 Ravens defense, right? What do you think? How do you think that team worked? Right, the defensive line wasn't getting home.
A lot of years.
I'm not saying I'm expecting them to look like that, Pizzle.
No,
I'm just
but what I'm saying is that's how they were. Either the defensive line got home, or if the defensive line couldn't get home.
Yes, you're correct. Correct.
So that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of defense you want, and that's what we're trying to get. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I think on paper we have like, to J Rose responses. I think we have on paper have got better, but the key that makes this all come together is if Robbie Leonard can get these guys to come together. And
right.
Is it gonna the question is it gonna take, is it going to be year one, or is it going to be is it going to take another off season in order for it to really get to a solidified defensive unit? Because again, we just saw in the Super Bowl, a team that had a solidified defensive unit. And it was because they were together for at least a year or two and ran together. So it just depends on when, with all these pieces that we do like. And again, I like who we got in the secondary. I like who we got on our D line, but it's important for all that to gel together. And until that gels together, we're not gonna fully see, that dominant defense that we all are hopeful that will take place.
And
so Twan, it's a wait and see is what it is.
And I don't think Patrick Graham had us on a page like that, except when AP was the interim coach the last 4 weeks when we started winning those games. Other than that, we haven't been playing like that. We haven't been playing like that in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? That was the last time I've seen our defense really playing like they wanted to play.
Well, and I'll say this to that Pizzle, because again, we got to talk about the politics of that situation. There was a lot of times that Patrick Graham was not allowed to be Patrick Graham. You know what I'm saying? He was able to bring in the guys that he wanted. He was able to bring in the guys that he liked, but he was not allowed to do what he really wanted to do with that defense. And that was the one time, you talked about AP. AP said, "Hey, Patrick Graham, you do what you want to do with this defense," and that's what we saw. And even when you go to Pete Carroll and him,
it was even worse.
Micromanaging, Patrick Graham. There was actually a statistic that came out that said that there was six quarters of football. And only 9 points were allowed, and that was when Patrick Graham was allowed to be Patrick Graham. So with that being said, that's why we had the issues with Patrick Graham and that situation. So hopefully Robbie Leonard is allowed to have free reign over this defense. We bring in the guys that he wants, and he gets to actually cook on that defensive line. Because again, if you allow the defensive coordinator to cook, then we'll actually get a decent meal.
I have to believe, all of us do as Raider fans, that this thing is going to look different this year when it comes to the defense. And I'm not saying we're going to be top 10 or anything like that, but I believe that it's going to look different. And when I say look different, any of us, and black, you know what I'm talking about, that have played football. You know you might not even be playing. You might not even be playing a top 10 defense, but something look a little different than what you saw on film when you were studying them. You know what I mean? Like that's what I have to believe, and I hope y'all believe too. Is that all these weapons we got? Like it's in the way Rob Leonard is sounding. I don't know. I think it's going to be a little different. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying top 10, but I'm saying it's going to be a little bit different.
He's definitely been sitting on this idea for a while. You can tell that because, again, he probably was sitting there as a D-line coach and was like, man, if I could just put this guy in this position, if I could put this guy in that position. So he has an idea, you know what I'm saying, of what he ultimately – he's probably been sitting on this for a couple of seasons now on, I would love to put this guy. I don't think this guy's being used the way that he should be used. So even the guys that are, return guys from previous regimes, I think he has an idea of what he wants to deploy. Again, it just depends on how quickly that idea gels together.
Yeah, and to get more help on that D line, we've been hearing a lot of things about Vita Vecchi. That's what I call Vita Vea. So what do you guys think about that? There's still a lot of reports that's still out. There's some reports that that Tampa Bay don't want to give him up. I think they just don't want to give him to the Raiders because they know what's going to happen if he ends up on the Raiders. So the jury is still out on that. It's been reported that the Raiders have put out an offer. I don't know how accurate that is. I would like to think it is true to a degree, but bringing in Vita will be helpful, but to what degree? Or is he too old? Because people like to throw around the age thing now. There's a lot of ageism going on when it comes to these players, but it's something to be concerned about. So how do you guys feel about Vita Vea coming in, and do you think it's going to happen? We're going to start with Pizzle.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. Well, I'd love for it to happen, actually, but yeah, I think it's going to happen. And the only problem I have with him right now is I heard he's got a little back injury. He's got to do a little back surgery. But other than that, he's the cornerstone of their defense over there. You know what I mean? He's like the pillar of their whole defensive line and everything over there. So, and he could come over here and team up with Max and Kwity Paye and all these other dudes, and we could be doing some serious business over here.
What about you, J-Ro? What you think about Vita?
Well, I don't think that it will happen. Just because we're not one D tackle away from being a contender. I like Vita Vea, the player, the guy. I just and then I think I just heard something, Black, that he and I'm doing the air quotes, bro, that he got injured in camp already, but I don't think we're one player away like that, especially not a nose tackle. Would I like to have him? Sure. But I just think we have other pressing needs on this roster that we should address, like wide receiver. You know what I mean? Things like that, instead of going after a big name, big money, big draft capital D tackle like Vita Vea.
Well, to be fair, right? To be fair, anytime that your upcoming contract is ending, you don't have guaranteed money, and you in camp, your back hurt. I'm doing the air quotes like you now. They're gonna say, "Oh, my back hurt," or they're gonna say, "My hamstring," something that you
After you
cannot see.
requested a trade, Black. After you requested a trade.
Yeah, So I think that it's like, yeah, you say, okay, my hamstring is tweaking, or my back is hurt, something that you can't go get an MRI and confirm. So if we're gonna play the game, because we got to remember, this is not show friends, this is show business, and they want their man so they can have fun young, as Raider Twan say. So he like, my back hurts. Since y'all want to play games, no different than them saying we're not going to trade him when we know dang on well if he don't show up on that field, they're going to trade him.
Yeah,
Twan, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, he at this situation, the injury, unless somebody really comes out and really verifies that it's a legit injury, I think he's playing ball. I think he's actually, that's why he's at camp, but he's not participating, is because he's pretty much sitting in at camp because of the negotiations. He wants out. That's why it's not going to require that much draft capital for him at this point. I really want two positions that you don't have to worry about. Age is nose tackle and a kicker. You know what I'm saying? His age is not really a factor in regards to the ageism of things. I would love Vita Vea to come over to solidify our D line in the middle of our D line, because we do have some question marks there. Is he going to be a lot of money? I don't think so. I think is going to require some money, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of money. And the draft capital that we'll be able to give him is not really going to hurt us to solidify that. So I'm with it. And again, like I said, the back injury, all that is just allowing for him to not, do his laps at their camp, because they're playing with his money.
He's getting mental reps. You're saying he's doing mental reps?
He's doing mental reps.
He's doing mental reps.
Good old mental reps. Hey, shout out to We the People. Thanks for pulling up. Eric Raider, what's good? Eric's Raiders haters. Well, thanks for hacking in with us. The thing that happened to Kwity Paye was he walked off the practice today with the trainers, did not return. And Coach Kubiak said that it's a precautionary measure, because they want to make sure he's as healthy as possible when they go into a full padded practice.
Smart move.
Smart move. Any final thoughts about Vita? J-Ro, you got anything else you want to retort about that?
I do. I got something I want to say. Well, the defense, for me, the defensive tackle or nose tackle is probably the most important part of the defensive line to me, because he gets pushed on the quarterback, which means he can't step up. And if he can't step up, then he can't get away from the edge rushers. And that's where we've been lacking in the defensive line. That's why I was hoping Wilkins was going to come over here and help us get some of that push up the middle, so we can allow Max to get more sacks, or Kuntz or Kwity Paye or whoever it's going to be, right? So that's for me the most important point. And he's good at stopping the run. So he'll take on the double team, stop the run. He'll push the pocket back. I mean, he's everything we need. Right? That's going to shore up the whole defense for your boy, for sure. That shores it all up right there.
Wilkins was definitely trying to push up the middle, though.
You know what I'm talking about?
I was about to pause Pizzle with the Max getting more sacks, but I'll say this, man. Could we use a Vita Vea? Of course we could. But do we need a Vita Vea? At this point, I don't think we do. I want to see what we got in these young boys, man. I want to see what we got. Not even Benito Jones. I'm not even him. And it hurt my heart when they cut Rocky Tassi.
Yeah,
I thought that if he could do anything, he could stop a gap, right? You know what I mean?
Not.
Yeah, I know, right?
Guess not.
So yeah, I don't know why they got rid of him, but yeah, I want to see the young kids, man. If rebuilding is what we're doing, and what we're saying, then let's rebuild. Let's not go get these over the hill old guys that, you know what I mean, that would be a 1-2 year deal.
That's all we need to develop our younger guys, though. We don't need them here for 5
Exactly.
years. We need them for 2 years.
But not at the risk of giving draft picks, Pizzle. Like, why would we give up draft picks for
A fourth rounder ain't that big of a deal.
These
dude.
old dudes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree, Pizzle. Let me retort to that. Like, it's going to be a fourth round or something like that. It's not the end of the world with that. We see you do build your team through the draft. I agree, but you also you solidify some positions and bring some continuity and some experience with a couple veterans. The one thing that we have not done this offseason is rely on a bunch of old people. Sure, you want to say Kirk Cousins, whatever. He's definitely positioned to help Mendoza, also stabilize the quarterback position, and also bring the ability to actually win games. Yes, we are in a rebuild, but we ain't in no tanking. We're not tanking while we try to figure out who's going to step up and what cream is going to rise to the top. So for me, Vita, we don't need him for 5 years. Him coming in, he can accelerate the play of Tonka Hemingway, who I hear is doing even better than last year. Even Laulu, even what we have Adam Butler or
But
whomever. So
Black. Okay.
one
Hold
second.
on,
Let
Black.
me land it.
All right, go ahead,
So
brother. Go ahead, brother.
and so with that experience, he will be able to show these younger players how to accelerate them. So instead of waiting for 3 seasons or year 3 for them to turn a corner, then that kind of speeds up the process. And what do you guys think in the chat? Vita Beta, yes or Vita no? Put yes or no in the chat. Go ahead, J-Ro.
No, I was just gonna say, Black. That's a whole different animal when we talking about quarterback. You know what I mean? Like when we talking about quarterback, that's a whole
But we brought
animal,
in
bro.
we brought a veteran in at nickel for Taron Johnson, Taron
And who
Johnson.
was our nickel before he
and
came in?
I understand, but we just also drafted a whole bunch of people that can play nickel. But the reason why we brought, but the reason why,
Okay,
Dukes.
hold on, the reason why, 1 second, the reason why that we brought someone in like that is you do need experience back there. You can't
and
just put a
listen
bunch of
for the chat.
1 second.
No. I was just gonna say for the chat. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just, you know what I mean? We giving our
You giving
opinion.
pushback. No, I appreciate
Go
it.
ahead,
No,
brother. Go
you
ahead, brother.
know I love the pushback pause.
Oh yeah, no. It's all good.
Yeah, I love that
Let's go.
because
We
I don't
Raiders
want
fans.
people to
Let's go.
exactly because I don't want people to think that
Let's
I
go.
think that I'm always right. So I just think when you sprinkle in a couple veterans and it's not majority veterans and then a couple new guys, then I agree with you. But if you got
Yeah.
majority new guys and you sprinkle in a couple veterans, I think it can do nothing but help, even if those veteran guys don't produce to the level that they normally producing to. You show them how to be professionals, and you show them what the expectation sort of looks like, higher than what they're presently doing. Okay, Cam.
What's up, bro?
What's going on?
No, I'm just saying, Black. Like, here's the thing, and of course we need veterans. We need them. I'm just saying, like, they're putting out this feeling that we're rebuilding, right? So why? And Black, look, and you know, Black, I've been waiting to talk to you, brother. With this quarterback situation, why are we doing this? I don't understand it.
Okay.
Why put Kirk Cousins out there if we've only paid him for 1 year, and we know that Mendoza is going to be the future?
Yeah, but the future is not today. But we're gonna talk about Kirk Cousins in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Let's
I'm
show.
sorry.
No,
I
no,
got
you
ahead
good.
of
No,
the, yeah.
no. You didn't know that. I mean, you didn't know that. I didn't tell you guys that. But no, we go. I definitely want to talk about that because me and Pizzle been talking about that. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. Pizzle, Twan, and I have been talking about that for a long time, and I know me and Pizzle been doing shows expressing that very question that you've been
And I've
asking
been
over
hitting
and
you in the
over.
chat too, Black.
I know. So much that Pizzle was like, I'm tired of talking about this because if they don't get it, they just don't want to get it because they're Nando-sexuals. I think this is a good time for Twan to tell us what a Nando-sexual is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, Twan, break it on down.
Look, I might even break this down even further. Stay tuned. There might be a whole live on the phrase Nando section. Okay, so look, I came over here, you know what I'm saying, to my, on my brother's channel, you know what I'm saying, and we were talking about, these enamored fans that can't accept the truth. And unfortunately, as much as some content creators have voiced exactly what the organization and the direction that they were going, it was very alarming when the person that they're enamored about explained the same things that some of us content creators were going for. So a Nando sexual is not just a fan of Fernando Mendoza, because again, I believe everybody that's a Raider fan should be a fan of our players. That does not qualify you as a Nando sexual. Okay, a Nando sexual is a person who has seen the facts and has
Yeah, 1 second.
a Nando-sexual is a person who denies the facts and still believes that Fernando Mendoza should be starting week 1. That is a Nando-sexual. A Nando-sexual is a person that identifies himself and says, hey, I don't care what you say. I don't even care what Fernando Mendoza says. You
Right.
need to be starting week 1.
Right. Hey,
So
that's good right there. And I'm gonna leave that right there so that I can marinate because some people might be in their feelings right now. And if you are in your feelings, you may be a nanosexual. But let's talk about Max first before we get to the quarterbacks, because I'm gonna save the best for last. That Max. People are saying Max is back. Max actually, took first team reps with the team. He out there showing his explosiveness ever since the
Black.
sack summit.
Oh,
And
I want my energy, brother. But nah, we good. We good.
no, I'm gonna let you cook when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'm
I
about to
just want to
say,
finish.
that.
I want to
Yeah,
finish talking
okay.
about
Go
the D
ahead,
line
Black.
real quick. It's just that we was
Go
getting
ahead, my
ready to
brother.
go.
Go
We was
ahead.
getting ready to get in that deep water about
I'm about to say,
Fernando, and I just
y'all
wanted him
Twan
to.
ain't gonna get that one off, and I'm gonna just
No,
chill. But yeah, hey, yeah,
yeah, no,
go
you're gonna
ahead,
get your
bro.
chance. So Max, ever since the sack summit, he showed his explosiveness and like they say, his get off is that's his superpower. So he showed that. Now we need to know what his lateral movement looked like. And so what we're seeing is we're hearing them saying Max is back and everything. So with Max coming back, what do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about that? And also, do you think Max is going to have a breakout season? Because we've been waiting 2 years to see the old Max back, and now that he has his injuries cleared up, what is the expectation for Max? And I'm gonna let you go first about that, J. Ro.
I think that Baltimore is gonna look really stupid for what they did, and I think that Max already said that he already has a chip on his shoulder, no matter what. And then for this to have happened, they've given him even more of a reason to kill their quarterback, whoever they may be. So
Yeah,
me, you, Tizzle, Twan, you know what I mean, whoever, anyone listening, any Raiders fan should be hyped and excited about the fact that not only is Max, but he's like a pissed off Max. You know what I mean? So hopefully he plays within the, like within the flags and the whistle, you know what I mean? But even if he doesn't, I don't even care, Black, because that's that Raider stuff, bro. If he go in and hit a quarterback in the face with his fist, I don't care. I want the Raiderdom to come back, brother.
You bring a good point up about the Vea thing and how does it affects Max and how it's gonna help Max. And I did see a good question by Jet Lee. Let me get to this question because I think they go hand in hand with Max, with the Max talk, because we already know what Max is. And like you say, a pissed off Max is a good Max. He's so pissed off that he even mad at the Raiders for trading him, and he asked for the trade. That's how crazy he is. That's how crazy he is with the situation right now. Because he's like, I'm trying to play at a level that's so crazy that everybody regret everything because I'm him. So here's the question. Let's go. So here's the question by Jet Lee. Awesome question. He said, y'all talking crazy. Vita Vea is definitely worth a third pick, and I'm sure they don't want him to go to another NFC team. Good point. I can see Vita playing another 3 to 4 more years, and Spytek is still cool with the Bucks. One more comment that I see, let me see. Let me get the Veda comments. Bring in Vita Vea would help more than just this year. Good point. About Eric says, about Vita depends on what round draft picks and how much would his contract be. And I also saw somebody say it's got to be a good deal. And Eric also said you need to know what draft and what round. So with that being said, and you can sprinkle in anything you want to say about Max, but what draft picks do you think he's worth? I'm gonna start with you, Pizzle, if you ready.
Well, I think Vita Vega's worth. I think he's worth at least a 4th round draft pick. I don't know if he's worth a 3rd. He's getting up there in age, so I don't want to give a 3rd rounder for a 31-year-old guy. I mean, I know it's not that old, but it's kind of old for football. But so that being said, we got to look at that for like you said, it's got to work for both of us. I know they might want a 3, but we can give them a 4, right? So we can work with them on that. And then the Max thing, I'm happy Max is back, but as long as we can get a little bit more production out of him, I don't care if someone's got to piss on his head and tell him it's raining. I don't care what's got to happen. As long
right.
as long as he's out there ready to go to work and put in the work that he usually does. So this is nothing new for him, right? He likes to go out there and put in work. He likes being the workaholic of the team, first guy in, last guy to go. What do they call those phrases that he likes to use? Whatever. But so I think as long as he stays healthy through training camp, we might be able to get a full season out of him this year, which would be good. Because the last couple of years, he's been hurt the last couple of games or whatever. So, but hopefully he can come back to full capacity and be able to, like you said, keep that get off, which is his most valuable asset in his toolbox.
Twine. See, right now, I'm gonna get it all.
Look, I mid round for Vita Vea. You know what I'm saying? I've already said that a few times. It's fine with me. Definitely Spytek is going to have to play ball, you know what I'm saying, and negotiate that because there is going to be money involved, and he's going to have to navigate that. One thing we know about Spytek, and we should know this about Spytek, is that he doesn't play around with his picks. You know what I'm saying? He likes his picks. So, if he decides to pull the trigger on Vita Vea and knows that he's going to give up some picks, he's not just going to just, he's not going to overpay. I'll say it like that. So I'm fine with that. Again, Max, remember you said Flock Nation, keep that motivation, and we need you to get the sacks. We need you to produce, and we don't need you to buck the system because, again, we have a new head coach, and he's trying to establish the system, and we don't need you to buck the system.
All right, J-Ro, what do you think he's worth in the draft? I mean, as far as draft capital, we're talking about Vega, and what are your thoughts about Max so far in camp?
So you're saying what do you think it would take to get Vita Vea?
Yeah, what would you be comfortable with as far as draft capital when it comes to getting him?
I'd say a third, maybe a fourth. But if I was Spytech, I wouldn't be willing to give that up. I'd bring Laki Tashi back before I did that, honestly, and that's just my opinion. Vita Vea is a very good player. He's, you know what I mean. He's awesome at what he does, but I'm not giving up. If like I said, Black, if what we're doing is rebuilding, I'm not bringing in any more old guys. I'm not doing that. And as far as Max, I'm good. I'm good. I don't care. Like, and this has been such a hot button topic for Raider Nation. But I'm just speaking for me personally. Like when we so-called traded Max to Baltimore and got 2 first-round picks, that was great. When it fell through and Max came back, that's great. And then Max is shitting on them dudes. Pardon my French, brother, but he's those same ones that were saying that his knee wasn't any good. He's out there, you know what I mean, like leading practice like he normally does. So I'm good with that because I love Max. And I ain't got no beef with Max wanting to go anywhere. That's cool. Hey, this is business. I don't. Look, I'm on business decisions. Podcast.
I love that
you know what I mean? Like,
I love you said that. Hold on. And since he said that, this would be a good time to make a great business decision and go on and hit that subscribe button or hit that like button so that way we can get into the algorithm because since I got monetized, YouTube has kind of been trying to find a bigger home for us so this content can get out. And to help the YouTube algorithm, we need all the help that I can get, that we can get. And you guys can please hit the like button if you can't do anything else. Don't be a fare raider. You on the Bart Show. Just pay the fare. Just hit the like button right now. You got something else you want to say? I just thought that was a great
Black,
time to say that.
It's just people get too emotionally committed in this thing, and it's I'm out your age, brother, and you too, Pizzle, and you know what I mean. I've seen Raiders come, I've seen Raiders go. I love them for what they did for the team. I hate them for what they didn't do for the team, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And if you want to come or if you want to go, that you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. I didn't give a damn one way or another. You know what I mean? Like if Max would have went to Baltimore, peace. God bless you. But now that he's back a Raider, let's go ahead and support this dude. And get behind him, you know what I mean? And yo, let's have a good defense, a good team. Like, why are we mad? Because he's talking about Flock Nation or whatever. Like, I don't. Come on now, I don't care about that. Like, yo, go out there and get some sacks, some strip sacks, some tackles for loss. You know what I mean? That's what I agree with about.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you when it came to the Flock Nation thing. I was like, yeah, he shouldn't have said it. Yeah, it probably was a bad thing to do and whatnot. But at the same time, I'm not so emotionally invested so much in that. But I'm not saying that others shouldn't, because at the end of the day, I'm not all of Raider Nation. He didn't offend me, but he did offend some people. And you do have to pay the cost for that because you did do that. Let me read a couple of these comments because some great comments are coming in. Jet Lee says, since he wants a new contract, it won't cost too much in draft capital as history shows. Also, it says, definitely, Webb says, definitely a 4. You want him that bad, a 3. I say give a 4 and a 5, and if they wanted if they want more, then give them Adam Butler.
What
Furpo,
up,
what's up with
Nutty Raider Nate?
Yeah, what's up with Nate? I was about to say, what's up with Nate? What's up with Furpo? What's up with Willie Wang? Willie
Wayne.
Wang. Yes. And let me see. Let
Jet
me
Lee
see.
was
You can.
cracking.
Let me see. He says. It was another one. Let's see. 'Cause there's other comments I will get to when we get to that part of the show.
Yeah,
Raider first down said he was Wilkins was supposed to be a much cheaper contract, but giving up picks. He totally would set a baseline at D tackle and buy his time to draft a wide receiver as a priority next year. And that's how I see it. I see it as that if we don't get Beta, uh, um, that those two things are going to be priority next year. We couldn't address everything. We can't fix all the holes in the boat.
right.
We had shotgun holes in our boats.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that we were able to plug up as many holes as we were. I'm talking about like competently on paper. So let's see how it plays out. And then as for a wide receiver, we can plug a wide receiver in at any time. And at D tackle, if we're going to run 3-4, even if it's only 20-30% of the time, we don't want that 20 or 30% of the time to bite us in the tail because they're running the ball up the middle and we have nobody to stop them.
Yeah, Vita Vea will serve, similar to what we've seen in the past with Jonathan Hankins, where he was here for a few years. He was our run stuffing guy, and kept things consistent, and that's what you're going to ask out of Vita Vea. You know what I'm saying? Like, it allows us to okay, again, I do agree that there is some holes on this team, and there's a lot of holes on this team, but if you can solidify and anchor one spot of it, then it frees you up to go get those other things, right? We're not in a position where we got to go high in the draft to go get a nose, you know what I'm saying? And because we have a Vita Vea, or the like of a Vita Vea at that spot. And I agree with J-Ro. Sometimes people are so take things too emotional, you know what I'm saying? And that's what happens with these nandosexuals. They just too emotional. And that's okay. If that's what you like, that's what you like. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna judge anybody on that effort, but hey, you do what you do.
Let's see. Cutman said, with the ascension of Hemingway, maybe we are best to just stand pat at D tackle. That could also be an option. That's an option that it looked like we were taking. I mean, but if a situation comes up like this, I mean, we gotta put our hat into the ring, or our clothes into the fire, or
Mhm.
whatever however that goes. But at the same time, I think we are confident with what we have going on right now. Uh, where it's not a necessity. Like you're saying, J. Rowe, it's not a necessity. It's not something that we have to do. But Furpo said no on the third, no matter what. So yeah, that's just it. And Frank Weber, thank you. He said this is my business decision, and I appreciate that because for the guys and the people that are, it's a lot of content creators out there right now that's just making content. And I know I'm the rookie of it. And when I call myself a rookie, because it was brought to my attention that I was here last year. I was here last year at the beginning of the training camp, and this is my first year. But I wasn't monetized, and you're not a professional until you get paid. So that's why I called it my red shirt year. But this is my rookie season for me. So I thank you guys for hacking into Business Decision Sports, and I appreciate all you guys for taking your time because you could be with any other content creator or any show, but you kicking it with your boy Black, the quarterback, the bad guy Raider.
I got a feeling that it's going, as much as I said a mid round, I think I have a feeling that's going to end up being just a 5th round pick. Something got me, you know what I'm saying? I think it might just equate to just being a 5th round pick because again, there is money involved. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so let's move right along because I know that my mans want to discuss the Nando section. That was the second time that might the shots is being fired. We almost there, but let's talk real quick about the Tokyo Toe. This is the first thing that I've heard about the Tokyo Toe and the kicking situation. And Matt A with the G being silent went out there today and he hit all his field goals. Now the Tokyo Toe must need to clip his toenail because he ended up missing the field goal wide right, I believe. But it's one field goal, whatever, whatnot. It's early. It's a culmination of all the kicks and things like that. But what do you guys thought so far early in camp with those findings? And what do you guys think about the love story of the Tokyo Toe?
It's interesting that we having this kick we got to talk about the kickers. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I'm spoiled. You know what I'm saying? I'm so just used to knowing the kicker was the kicker when we first came into camp. I'm not a component of Matt G. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like Matt G as a kicker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that the Tokyo, you know what I'm saying? Tokyo drift, you know what I'm saying, drifts his way into the, you know what I'm saying, kicking spot. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we need to upgrade our special teams. And it seems like this organization is definitely putting an emphasis in totality of our special teams. I don't think, we've addressed that enough. You know what I'm saying? And emphasize special teams as much as they're trying to emphasize it this year. So that's the refreshing thing that I like to see, so far out of camp.
Hazel.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My mind drifted. What are we talking about?
Tokyo Toe. I kind of felt that it was drifting. That's why I came right to you right now. So Tokyo Toe and Matt Gay.
Yeah, I was Tokyo drifting like Twan said. I was just sailing away to where I'm going. Anyway, yeah. Well, I'm pulling for the kid. I just hope that he can cook further than a 50-yard field goal because that's what he needs to do at this point. That's the most important thing for me. If you can kick a little bit further, like 55 to 60, that'd be cool. But 50, I don't know. I don't know if 50 can do it if that's enough for the NFL. I mean, that's great for, maybe kickoffs or maybe extra points, but sometimes we need that into the game, long kick that we relied on Janikowski to come in and get for us. And the other guy, Crawford or whatever, the guy we're trying to get rid of right now, right? Didn't he kick a nice 65-yarder or something for us?
Who?
The field goal kicker. Last year, didn't he boot a
60-yarder at the end of it to beat Kansas City in our 5 field goal wins?
Yeah, so there you go. If he could kick a 60-yarder, we'd be in business.
J-Ro, how do you feel about the kicking competition?
Brother, I'm with Fizzle. Like I don't understand why did we get rid of Daniel Carlson? You know what I mean? Like he missed a couple kicks, but like he wasn't bad enough, I don't think, for us to get rid of him. Like and then now, like I guess from what I've heard, he still doesn't have a job. What was wrong with that guy?
Well, to be fair, ever since he got the bag, his numbers dipped. And he was becoming inconsistent. And kicking is a confidence thing. And I think he just either checked out mentally or the regimes that we had going on was crazy. That's why I love so much the special team kickers that we had over the years when we were struggling, because they stayed consistent. And matter of fact, the best player on our team for a lot of years was our punter, for real. So, so he was a little inconsistent. So I think that's why we got rid of him. I personally would have loved to see him come back into camp and try to kick his way back into that uniform. So I'm with you.
Me too, Black.
Why did we get rid of him?
Yeah,
I'm with
Carlson,
you on that.
he used to drive kicks in the bucket, like as far as kickoffs and those coffin kicks, all of those. You know what I mean? He put them right there where they needed to be, and yeah, he missed a couple, but we got to think about like our coaching staff, and they put him in some bad situations. You know what I mean? But I anyway, he's not here anymore. So
right.
He gone.
I think the Tokyo show would be a good story, and I think it would sell a lot of jerseys, and it would bring a lot of people to the stadium. But Matt Gay, all I've heard about him was that his distance was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I don't know. May the best man win.
For sure. Alfredo, what's good with Alfredo? He said, I was on board to move on from Carlson, but not for Matt A with the G being silent. And he also said Tokyo Toe over Turf Toe. That's the first time I heard they call Matt A with the G being silent Turf Toe. So I'm with you on that, my brother. So like you said, though, may the best man win. And speaking of best man, let's talk about AOC real quick, because he wanted to be the best man at some point. I think he's kind of understanding his position, but he did do a press. Yeah. So that's the competition at QB2. That's why AOC he's either going to be the QB2 or he's going to be QB gone. So we don't know which one it's going to be yet, but he's going out there. And as advertised as always, as we hear every year, he's doing great in camp. We hear this every year. Two things that I was excited about when I seen him today was he's growing his hair out. So he's starting to look like the quarterback now. He's actually looking like a quarterback. So he's starting to kind of feel himself. I'm happy about that. And the second thing was, dang it, I forgot the second thing because I was so tripping off the fact that he grew. Oh, the second thing was he actually came out and, like what you say, Twan, they hit the mic or whatever.
Yeah, they threw the mic under the porch and let him talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they let him talk a little bit. So what was your thoughts about AOC? I don't know if you saw his presser today, but what are your thoughts about him?
Man, I was just, I woke up this morning, you know what I'm saying? I had to take care of my business, you know what I'm saying, on Fridays, and it just surprised me because we was having a conversation, yesterday or the other day was like, who's going to hit the podium next? And I was like, AOC, I don't think he's going to hit the podium because, everybody's so enamored with, obviously the starting quarterback's going to get some PT, but, everybody's so stuck on this, third string quarterback that I don't even think the second quarterback is going to get some time. So it just surprised me that, they dropped the mic in the basement, you know what I'm saying, under the porch and allow AOC to have a little conversation today.
Fizzle, AOC.
Oh, AOC, I think he's I think my boy Jacob's done already got his job, and he just don't even know it yet. That's how I'm looking at that. I think that I wish him luck, and being a starter in this league, there's a few places that he could go that are looking for some people, and he might fit in over there. But he's really kind of a system quarterback. I've said this before, like. He should probably really go back to the Patriots where McDummie's at, because McDummie really drafted him for his system, for what his system does. And, that's where he should go.
Yeah. So I like to hear what you got to say, J-Ro, about the Aiden O'Connell situation, and then that's going to drift us right into the hot topic that's still the hot topic that shouldn't be a hot topic, which is Kirk Cousins. But what are your thoughts about AOC? And then you can address the Nando sexual comment.
That's that's funny, Black. But nah, I honestly think, and this is just the thoughts in my head, not the Raiders brass, but wouldn't they love it to be able to get rid of Kirk Cousins and let him go and all the money they're paying for him and sign AOC to some cheap backup quarterback deal?
You don't want to be a backup, bro.
You would not. Well, he's a Pizzle. He says that, but come on, they all say that.
He wants
They
to be
all
a starter.
say that.
Nah,
They all
bro.
say that.
He wants to be
I
a
think
starter.
AOC really knows what time it is right now.
Well, why did he
Wouldn't the
say what he
Raiders
said
love
then?
that? If
No,
they,
well,
if they
why did they say? Why did he say it? That was the wrong time to say that because he ain't been saying it in no time. Matter of fact, he had a better chance a long time ago saying that when he had more cachet, when he was
because
playing better.
because Black and Pizzle, you're supposed to say that.
But he never
What
said
you
it
gonna
until
say?
then.
I would love to be a backup quarterback.
No,
Don't nobody gonna say that.
no. He should do what he's been doing, not say nothing about it at all.
Look, we all have bosses, right? We all, you know what I
He's
mean?
looking for a job,
and
bro.
he has
He's
an
fishing.
agent. So of course he ain't gonna say because you know what I mean. He still thinks in his mind, of course, and that's what we want. That's what we should want as Raider fans. Is for a backup quarterback to think that he could be a starter.
Hey,
Bro, let me hold on, Twan. I'm gonna let you cook. This is what this is the point that everyone keeps missing when I say this. I'm not saying that he's not supposed to think that. That just don't mean you supposed to come running out your mouth and say it. I'm saying yes.
Why
I'm
not?
saying yes. Well, hold on. I'm about to tell you why. Hold
Go
on.
ahead. I'm sorry.
For the
Go ahead,
the
bro.
reason is because this. For one, we know you're not about to be the starting quarterback here because they keep bringing in quarterbacks above you, you know. And two, if you're the third string quarterback, you're supposed to prepare like you the starter. Although we know that you're probably not going to start, and if you do start, we're in deep trouble. So I have no problem with the mindset. The mindset is something totally different. Yes, you should think that you want to be you don't want to be a backup. But the reality is that you're a backup, especially here. And if you plan on being here, you're never going to be that starter. So don't come out your mouth and say something like, well, I want to be a starter, whether it's here or wherever. Like, what? Well, excuse me? Pardon me? Like, why would you say that at this time?
Go ahead, Twan. I got to go after you say this.
Black.
No, all I'm gonna say is you don't even gotta go to the big screen. We heard Klint Kubiak say that he wants these quarterbacks to push the quarterback. So if that was AOC's way of trying to push the quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying, and that was his way of pushing the quarterbacks.
Okay.
And to what Twan just said, Black and Pizzle.
He ain't pushing nothing. That dude ain't even pushing
no. Maybe he's not. But Pizzle, let me say something. I don't want a guy on this roster that doesn't want to be a starter.
I didn't say. Yeah, see, y'all, you keep deferring to that. I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying. This me, Black. This is what I'm saying. I don't want a guy on this roster. I don't care if he's fourth string or if he's practice squad. I don't want a guy on this Raiders roster that doesn't want to start, that doesn't have that mindset that he wants to be a starter.
Every player has that starter. Even the backup has that. But to come out and say that he wants to be a starter or on anywhere else in the league, that's different than him saying than what you're talking about, bro.
Pizzle, those were not his exact words.
Yeah, it was his words.
It was.
He didn't say or anywhere else in the league,
yes,
bro.
He did.
He did not. Pizzle, you
He said no. What he said was,
bring
"I
that one
want to."
up,
No,
bro.
this is what he
'Cause he
said. He
didn't
said,
say
"I
that.
want to." He said, "I want to be a starter in this league." He wasn't
That's
talking
what he
about with
said.
the Raiders. He wasn't talking
That's
about
what
with
he
the
said.
Raiders. He wasn't talking about with the Raiders. He couldn't
He
have been
said, I
talking
want to
about
be
with
a
the
starter.
Raiders.
And then how can you be mad at this dude?
I'm
I
not
want to be a
mad.
starter in this league.
I'm not mad.
That's
But why would you?
so that
But why
means
would you say that, knowing you're not going to start for the Raiders? Why would you say that?
that
That's like
means he's
that's
trying,
just
he's
like
giving
saying,
that up.
bro.
So let me ask y'all, do y'all want a dude to come in and say, hey,
No, I
I'm
already
number
addressed that.
3
He's
and I'm
not
happy
I
being
already
number
addressed
3.
that.
He's
You know
not
what I mean?
understanding,
Like,
Black. I gotta go. But
All
it's
right,
good
bro.
being on the panel with you guys. Right on, Twan. Nice meeting you, J Row.
Yeah,
And
all right,
Black,
Pizzle.
I'll hit you up later, man.
Peace to
Nice,
you, brother.
nice meeting you, J Row, for real. Nice
Yeah, same to you, bro. Peace
Later,
to
bro.
you, Pizzle.
All
All
I'm
right.
saying is, if you are a kid and you know that y'all barely eating because y'all keep eating noodles every night, and the kids say, "I want to go to Disney World," yeah, you can want to go to Disney World all you want, but the reality is you're not going to Disney World. So don't
Okay.
keep saying you're gonna go to Disney World when you know you can't afford it. That's my
Okay.
point. It's
And
not that a
Black,
kid a
I know
kid's supposed to want to go to Disney World. You should want to go to Disney World, but the reality is you're not going to Disney World, my guy. Not here. Not at this time.
okay, and Black, I know you like the what you call them, like the making a situation. So I'll say the same to you. If you had a son that was the second team quarterback on his high school team or whatever team he was on, would you tell him, hey, you better be good with being the second team quarterback and just accept that and just, you know what I mean, be
When
quiet
did I
about
say
that?
that?
Or would
When
you?
did I say that?
No,
When
no,
have
no,
I
no, no,
ever
no.
said
I'm
that?
not saying you did. I'm asking you, would you be cool with that? With him just saying, hey, I'm the second team guy, and you know what I mean, thank God for that. Like that's what I'm asking you. Like what do we expect Aiden to say? Of course he wants to be a
No,
starter.
I expect him to say nothing. That's the point. I'm not saying he shouldn't think something. I'm saying he shouldn't say something. But now, to your
Well, they put the
question,
microphone in front of his face.
yeah, but he's a professional. He knows how to duck the question. So that this is my
Well, nah,
thing. If my
he's still. You don't
hold on.
think that this man wants to be a starter
Bro,
somewhere?
I'm not saying he shouldn't want to be a starter somewhere, but don't say it if you know you ain't gonna start here. But this is to answer your question about if my son was the third string quarterback, right?
Yeah,
And then he said he wants to start. I'm not
yeah.
gonna tell him to look at the top of the mountain. I'm gonna tell him, well, what you need to do is get good enough to become the backup first. Don't go out there and tell coach, well, I think I'm good enough to be the number one player and I want to start. Yeah, that's good to hear because that's the right mindset. But the coach gonna look at you like you crazy because he's gonna be like, you're not even better than the backup. So, and if that's the reality, you have to deal with reality first before you can climb Mount
Well,
Everest. You know, you got to take the first couple steps first before you start talking about being on top of the mountain.
what does your play say, Black? That's the thing. What is your place? That's what I would ask my son. What does your play say? And it's like back in the day, old Tribe Called Quest. And I know you about old as me, Black, and I know you remember this. And Fife Dog said it. He said, if I don't say I'm the best, tell me who the hell will. You know what I mean? If I don't say it, who the hell is
Okay.
going to say I'm the best?
We're having two different conversations because you guys are keep talking about
No, no, no.
mindset.
No.
I'm talking
All I'm
about
talking about, Black,
reality.
is all I'm talking about is you get mad at AOC
No
for
one's
saying he
mad.
wants to be a starting quarterback.
I'm not
I
mad
ain't
at
mad
him
at
for
that
saying
dude
that.
for that.
I'm not mad at
You know
him
what
for
I mean?
saying
If
that.
AOC was my son, I would have, after he said that, I would have gave him a big old hug, you know what I mean, and bought him something to eat.
Yeah, and
Like
he still would have
I
been the
can't.
backup. And he still would be the third string
All right.
quarterback because you over there avoiding reality because you want him to say, yes, that's right, son. That's the way you're supposed to talk. Forget how you talk, it's how you play. It
Would
is
it?
now let me ask you this question.
Go ahead,
At
Black.
this
Go
point,
ahead,
at
Black.
this point right now, is AOC a starter worthy quarterback for the Raiders? Yes or
We
no?
don't know, Black. We
No,
don't
you
know.
don't know. You don't know because
No one knows,
no,
bro.
you don't know. I know. Don't
Okay.
speak for me.
Do
I
you
know that
know?
he's not good enough.
So
Yes,
you can significantly say
yes,
no.
yes. And
Why
I can
and
and I
why?
and I
Why
and I and
why
I can
can you
and I
say
can
no
and I can
significantly?
spend an hour telling you why. But let's start with the most glaring one of them all. Other than the fact that his numbers, ever since his rookie year, has depleted. Not only has his numbers depleted, his
Or nothing
playing
like
time
that.
on the playing time on the field. If I had a quarterback that started 10 games his rookie year, then played 7 games his second year and was getting hurt, and then his third year didn't see the field into the last game and only played 3 quarters. I'm not telling that person, hey, you know
Who are
what?
we
You know you could
measuring
be.
them
Hold
by?
on, hold on. His ability to be on the field. I wouldn't tell my son, hey, yeah, you went 5-5, then 2-7, and then you didn't play no games. I'm not gonna tell him, yeah, you're starter worthy. I'm not gonna lie to him like that because
Wait.
you're not.
The no games were due to what?
Injury.
No. You said he went. Say that again, Black. He went.
He went from 10 starts where he went five
Okay,
and five. Then he
10
went to
starts.
seven starts to 2-5, which is
And we
going back,
gotta. Why
which
did
is
he go
going
7
backwards.
starts?
His second year, he started 7 games. He went 2-5,
And
and then
listen, Black.
and then
Listen,
hold
Black.
on, and then his last year he went 0-0 because he didn't start no games.
Okay, listen, brother. I want you to hear this. I'm not arguing with you like I'm saying Aiden O'Connell is the answer to anything. I don't like when I hear people shit on this dude.
That's not squatting
You
on him.
know,
That's the
no.
facts. Those are
Hear
facts.
me out, Black. Hear me out, Black. Hear me out. I just don't like when I hear people shit on him and like look what this dude was up against. Like and we got Derek Carr stands out here in Raider and you know what I mean? In Raider Nation. But look what Aiden O'Connell went up against. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Like, what did we expect from this dude? What did we expect from him?
I expect him to be
I
able to
didn't when
play.
we drafted him, he was what? He was a 4th rounder. I didn't expect him to come in and like take over the league or nothing like that. I'm just saying I ain't gonna talk bad about it, dude, because he never
How
had a
is that?
real shot
Time
like
out.
that.
How is that talking bad about him when I'm telling you he started 10 games, won 5 games, started 7 games, won 2 games, and then his third year he didn't play at all. And how is that be talking bad about him when that's the reality of his career?
No. Okay, so
And then hold on, and then the sum of all that, you're gonna tell me he's a starter. Like
Black.
how?
So Black. We're talking about wins and losses.
I'm
Is that
talking
the
about his
measure? Is that the KPI that we're using against this dude?
no. That's not the main. That's the default. But the issue that I had, and I've been saying this from the very beginning. If you're going to be a starter in this league, you have to have
Uh-huh.
the ability to play, if not all the games, at least 14 to 15 games. Aiden has never shown that he can play a whole season without being injured. This dude
When
got
did he have a
airlifted because he
chance,
bruised
though,
his knee.
Black?
He had a chance. He had a chance to start when AP was here. He had a chance to
Oh,
not only
come
start.
on, Black.
Hold on. Don't tell me that they didn't bench Gardner Minshew for him because they did. And when they did, hold on. And when they
And
did, he came.
eventually
Hold on.
they did.
Hold on. But when he did come into the game because they sat the starting quarterback, what happened? Got injured. So my number one issue with Aiden O'Connell is not his play. It's not even his record. My issue with him is his inability to stay healthy and play on the field. We haven't been able to see what he can do for a full year because he can't stay healthy. I have a problem with how he feels. He should feel that way. I'm not ever discussing that. I don't know why people like to keep using that as a talking point to me because I agree with you there. All I'm saying is if you cannot sit on the field and be a starter, then and you've never shown it, Why should I believe that you can't until I can see that at that position?
Okay, so I don't know.
No,
Vaughn,
answer that. No,
let me
answer. No,
ask you,
no, no, no,
Twan,
no,
and
no, no. Don't
I
ask.
got
No,
a
no, no,
feeling
no,
of
no,
what
no,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
say,
no, no, no,
Twan.
no,
But
no, 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 no. We'll get to
I
Twan.
just want to
No,
hear
no, no. I
Twan's
want you to. I want you to.
opinion.
No, no. I want Antoine because I want Twan to say something because his silence is golden. But I want you to answer this question, and I want even Webb to answer this question. Webb, you know I
Say, hey,
love
my
you.
fault. Hey, say it again, Black, because
This is
I've dropped out for a second, brother.
yeah. This is my question. If you have not shown that you can play majority, I'm talking about 85%, 80% of the season without being hurt, why would I put my trust in you as a starting quarterback when you've never shown it? And not only that, every year that you've played, you've declined in some way. How does that equate to a starter? How?
Okay. I'll say this. What quarterback since Derek Carr has shown that?
I'm not talking about nobody else but AOC.
No,
That's all I'm talking about.
but no, because we're doing a measurement, right?
Okay, let me answer the
We're
question.
doing
I'll
a
answer the
measurement.
question. Since you want to answer my question with a question, I'm going to answer your question. Hopefully, it helps you answer my question. Let me tell you who had the ability to do that. Gardner Minshew. When Gardner Minshew got hurt, he came
Okay.
back. When Geno Smith got hurt, he came back. You want to know why? Because they've already proven that they can go through a whole season multiple times.
Oh, wait.
AOC,
Gardner
hold on,
Minshew
hold
has
on.
went through a whole season.
Gardner Minshew has played many
Careful
seasons
what you
all the way
say.
through. No,
Gardner Minshew has went
bro,
through a whole season.
Gardner Minshew has played a full season before, more than once.
With who?
And
Don't say Jacksonville. Don't say
okay,
them.
I got to do this again. Okay, even if let's take Gardner Minshew out, but I'm about to give you
Okay.
the stats for
Okay.
Gardner Minshew. Geno Smith is an example. He got injured and he came back. You want to know why? Because he has the ability to play all the games. We have never seen AOC come close to playing 17 games. Matter of fact,
AOC.
in his hold on, in his 3-year career, he started exactly 17 games. So you telling me it took you 3 years to start a full season? So you essentially spent 1/4 of your career as a starter, 1/4 of your career on the bench, and the other quarter of your career being a backup. So I've seen all I need to see from AOC because I've seen him in all three fashions. What we need to do, create another situation for him, or we need to have him start under this new Kubiak system because this is the best system for him. So they should just let him start now because he hasn't had that opportunity.
Okay. Can I go, Black?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just look. Did you see the video the other day of Kirk Cousins trying to run them wind sprints?
I did.
And how crazy that dude look? All I'm saying is, look, man. I'm not sitting here trying to be some AOC stan. I'm not doing that. All I'm saying is that AOC never got a fair shot. Can we at least agree on that? Like you know what I mean? Like when AOC
We
came in.
can't.
Okay. All right. So you
We,
think that Gardner Minshew truly beat him out in training camp?
I don't want to get in the
The
weeds
other
about
year?
that. I don't want to get in the weeds about that because I think that Gardner Minshew is a better quarterback than Aiden O'Connell. Sorry. But now to answer your question about
What
Gardner
makes you say
Minshew,
that? What makes you say that?
because Gardner Minshew started 17 games with Indianapolis before he came to the Raiders. So he started a full season. So any quarterback that could start a full season is to me is going to be a better quarterback that I'm going to call a starter versus a
So it's
player
because of the number
that
of his starts.
it starts there. That's not the whole
Doesn't
thing,
matter
but
what
I
he
mean,
did, no starts. It's because
no,
of the number of
it
his
doesn't
starts.
matter. You could be dope as all you want to, but if you only can play 5 games, 7 games, 10 games, when the season is
But no
17
one,
games.
look, Black, we didn't draft AOC thinking he was going to be our starter.
So why y'all think he the starter now? That's my
And
question.
who? Like, who
Why,
thinks that? I don't know who thinks that.
You
I
think
was
that
talking about as far as a backup. That was my whole point. I
that
said he would be
he's a backup?
cheaper. I said he would be cheaper than what's his name, Kirk Cousins.
Because Kirk Cousins
I
isn't a
never said,
backup.
oh no,
Kirk,
I want
Kirk
Mendoza
Cousins
out
isn't a
there, bro.
backup. Kirk Cousins isn't a backup though.
He's
And,
he's
and we didn't bring him.
37,
And
bro.
I don't care if he's 47. We didn't bring him in to be a backup. And he's proven several times that he could start over a 17 game season. Gardner Minshew started 17 games with the team that he played before he played with the Raiders. Geno Smith has started 17 games. The only person in this
And
conversation
look
that
what
we're talking
happened with
about,
all these dudes. Look what
regardless
happened
of
with
all
all those
that,
dudes.
the only quarterback that we're talking about that has not started 17 games but took 3 years to do it was
He hasn't
AOC.
had the
And y'all,
chance.
stop saying he haven't had a chance. He had a chance to take the control. He could have came in last
No,
year.
he did. Come on. Hey, that
He
dude, come on,
bro,
Black.
stop saying he
That
didn't
dude,
have a
he ain't
chance.
had a chance to start.
So he's never started.
No, he
So you
did
telling me
start. I'm
so
saying he
so
didn't
so
have the
so
chance
he needed the
to
perfect
start like a
situation.
whole season, bro.
That's his fault. Because last year, when he was in a quarterback competition, what happened? Got hurt in training camp. Whose fault is that?
What was his injury in training camp?
Whose fault was that? His hand. He was out 10 weeks. And
I
granted,
don't
he
remember
might have
that.
probably could have came back maybe earlier, but whatever, he didn't. But he was out 10 weeks still. So that's still more than half the season. So AOC
So
is not a
who
he's
was
not
the
a
quarterback behind Geno after Aiden O'Connell? If Aiden got hurt, no, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be smart, bro. I don't remember who was the quarterback behind Geno after
Pickett,
Aiden got hurt for 10 weeks.
Pickett, Pickett
Ritter.
came in, Riddler. They brought in these quarterbacks while AOC was on the
Oh, that
roster. If you
during the
don't notice,
season.
if you haven't noticed, every regime that talks good about AOC somehow ends up bringing in other quarterbacks, even though he's on the roster, including Klint Kubiak. Because before we got any quarterback, AOC was the only quarterback on the roster. And guess what happened? We drafted a quarterback and we got one out the free agency.
Okay, let me ask you this, Black, and we could leave this right here, and we'll go on to the next subject, my brother, because I got love for you, bro. You know what I mean? I ain't
No,
trying
no, for sure.
to like that, man. But let
No,
me
no,
ask
it's
you,
good. We good.
yeah. Have you seen enough of Aiden O'Connell to say
Yes.
what he is or what he
Yes.
isn't is at this point?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right,
Because I've seen him start a quarter of his career. I've seen him
okay.
be the backup a quarter of his year, and I also seen him be injured a quarter of his year. And none of that tells me starter in any of those fashions. If you want,
No, no, no.
if there was any,
I'm talking about even backup, Black.
oh, so okay. For as far as backup, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that 5-5 season in his
And
rookie
keep in
career,
mind his
but
coaches too now.
bro, I don't care about none of that because, like AOC said, the only person that care about that is his wife and his family. Don't nobody care about that. The only thing we care about
We
is the
do. We
production.
do as
I
Raiders
don't.
fans. We
I
care
don't.
about it.
I don't. I don't. Yeah, fans are
And
supposed to.
look, obviously the
Fans can.
Raiders brass cares about it because they got rid of what's his name? Josh McDaniels. They got rid of Antonio Pierce. They got rid of what's his name? Craig. That was the offensive coordinator. They got rid of who's the guy, Chip Kelly. They got rid of him. Somebody cares about who's calling the plays, bro. And now they got Kubiak in there. And all we hearing out of camp is good things about Aiden O'Connell.
We hear good things every camp about Aiden O'Connell, but these coaches keep bringing in quarterbacks, though. So just even that alone tells me that Aiden O'Connell is not that guy because every coach, including Klint Kubiak, the one that everybody trusts, brought in 2 other quarterbacks other than him. He could have simply said, we don't need a 38-year-old Kirk Cousins. We could just simply go with Fernando and we can go with AOC. We seen AOC start 10 games. So let's see if we can get him to start 7 to 10 games. And then after that, put in Fernando, and then he could be the career backup. But that's not the situation. That's not what happened. Klint Kubiak said, if I'm going to go down with a ship, it ain't going to be with AOC. It's going to be with Kirk Cousins. And to me, it only makes sense. But for some reason, and that's not what you're saying, because you're saying he could be a viable backup. And I'm saying AOC said he don't want to be a backup. He want to try to be a starter somewhere, which is great. I have no problem with that. So give him this opportunity to do that. Let him get all the snaps that you think he should get in preseason. Matter of fact, don't even trade him to the deadline. If y'all want to throw him in the game so you can see what he's looking like in real time, do that too. But if you're going to be a quarterback for this Raider team, you need to know your role, and your role is backup.
So
Okay,
week one, what do you think our quarterback room should look like? Week
Week 1 should be Kirk Cousins 1, and shout out to Twan. The second quarterback should be Aiden O'Connell, and the third quarterback should be Fernando. Not because
Good job.
Aiden O'Connell is the second best quarterback in that room. It's simply because we don't want to put Fernando out there. That's the only reason why he's his backup.
Twan, I'd love to hear what you think about this, bro.
About what? The Aiden O'Connell?
Just about our quarterback situation.
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I wish I could turn all this black on and turn it into blue, because I've been talking about this situation. I should be blue by now. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins is the starter. It's been first, seconded, and third. You know what I'm saying? And I could probably dive in deeper and find out more reasons why Kirk Cousins is a starter. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins is a starter, not just because of him being the veteran in the room, but because we're trying to establish this offense. And in order for us to effectively establish this offense, we need not just only the head coach, but we need the second coach who's out there with a helmet on to help this offense move forward. So that's why Kirk Cousins is here. No matter what AOC thinks and feels, hey, look, you can feel like you Tom Brady if you want. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the Las Vegas Raiders, we have identified you as a backup quarterback. So we're glad to have you as the number 2 quarterback in this situation, because we're putting our franchise quarterback, our quarterback 3, on ice, because right now, not only has he said it, but the head coach has said it, and he has said that Fernando Mendoza is not ready to go right now. So in order for him to be ready to go right now, we need to have somebody in place. Like I've said, we need some people to allow Mendoza to get it together while he's getting it together. So that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And now I will say this for the Nando sexuals, I'm not saying that Fernando Mendoza is worse than AOC at quarterback play. I'm not saying that Fernando Mendoza is not a better talented quarterback than AOC. But in order for Fernando Mendoza to fully get this playbook, in order for him to fully get the protections, in order for him to fully navigate not just 30% of the playbook, but at least 80% of this playbook, we need to have some people ahead of him in order for him to get that right. So that's why we have these guys in place. Now, can there be a situation where someone calls like a Patriots and say, hey, what? How much is the doggy in the window? You know what I'm saying, for AOC? Okay, we'll throw you a 4th round, and I can almost guarantee you that Spy Tech will be loved to throw away. You know what I'm saying? Give AOC to the Patriots for a 4th round pick. Why? Because again, we already know what the deal is. the ultimate deal is that Kirk Cousins is our starting quarterback, and hopefully Mendoza is ready to go. So there is no future plans right now at this point in order for for AOC. Now I will say this on the flip side, because there's another variable that may take place. There may be a situation where they say, hey, Fernando Mendoza, you're ready to go. Okay. Kirk Cousins, we don't necessarily need you anymore. Okay. We'll keep AOC as a backup to Fernando Mendoza. So there's some things that can still be played around, but no matter what, it still equates that AOC is a backup here for the Las Vegas Raiders. He can go to the Tokyo, you know what I'm saying, to the Tokyo Terrapins, you know what I'm saying, that play football and be a starting quarterback. He can go to the Singapore Donkeys and be a starting quarterback. But as long in Nevada, he's a backup quarterback.
Church, preach, tabernacle. Now I know you had something to say about the Nando sexual thing. Did you want to say that before we get into Kirk Cousins? Because you did say something about him running them wind sprints at 1.2 miles an hour. So but I do want to give you a chance to say something about the Nando sexual thing. You there, J-Ro?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I don't know. I just don't understand how any organization puts that much stock in a player to draft him number 1 overall, and for that player to be the Heisman Trophy winner and to lead his team to be undefeated, and it's just I don't know, and it's like I feel like almost like, why am I arguing with y'all? Because y'all should love that fact too, like that we, you know what I mean? Like we coming into a point where the Raiders haven't seen this. You know what I mean? Like this is something we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the fans don't know what they're talking about. The fans are talking from a place of emotion.
And that's
Because they think
so Black. That's what I'm saying. Why the hell are we talking about a Kirk Cousins?
I'm about to tell you why.
Why the hell are we talking about a Kirk Cousins?
I'm about to tell you why. Because I'm about to tell you why. 2 reasons. For one, Kubiak saw that it was a reason. Like for one, he saw the reason. 2, y'all should know the number by now. 25, 82, and 2. That's the record of number 1 picks that are quarterbacks, and they come into this league and you start them from day 1. Matter of fact, those are some of the great quarterbacks that we got. That includes Joe Burrow, who went 2-7-1, and because when you play them the first year, you put them in peril. Now,
but they took their lumps, Black. They
took their lumps because they had to. Because a lot of those hold on. Because a lot of these quarterbacks that went to a team did not have a quarterback that had the ability to win games. That's the reason why they were picking number 1 in the draft. We were in the same boat, except for Klint Kubiak said, hey, I don't want to put a guy out there knowing that 25, 82, and 2, and that's telling me that what is these lumps that we're talking about? Because if we put Fernando out there and he don't play well or he get injured, what's the first thing the fans gonna do? Oh, he's a bust. I knew we should have drafted, we should have traded.
It's like what I said to the other day.
Hold on. You got to listen to what I'm saying so that way you don't keep having these questions. Because if we put Fernando out there and we can ruin this kid's confidence because we putting him out there to take these lumps, as we calling them, and he doesn't pan out, then we're going to be sitting here talking about we're in the same boat. We should have never drafted him number 1. We have a quarterback, and however y'all want to sit there and say he's 38 or whatever, 40 or whatever, what I do know is a lot of the quarterbacks, I've seen Tom Brady win Super Bowls after 40. I've seen Stafford win one when he was 32. I've seen Peyton Manning win. I've seen older quarterbacks. You want to know why? Because it's hard to fool older quarterbacks because they've seen it all. So if Klint Kubiak had enough to say, look, I need to put a quarterback in
Tell me when they
position.
come.
If I need to put a quarterback in
Nah, I'm joking
position,
with you, bro.
if I need to put a quarterback in position to be a bridge until Fernando is ready, I will do so because a lot of people said that Fernando in any other draft would not have been a first round pick. And if
Well,
that is
what?
true,
But black. Okay, excuse me, please. Let me stop you, brother. What are we trying to do? If what it like? We want Kirk Cousins to win 7-8 games, and we good with that, and then Fernando comes in. And you know what I mean? Like, what
let
are
me
we
ask you
trying
this.
to do
So,
here?
so,
I
so
don't get
we're
it.
trying. I'm about to tell
Like
you.
I
I
don't want
I
to.
don't think.
And
I don't think
listen,
you want to get it.
I am a true Raiders fan. I don't want to win 7-8 games with
Which
Kirk Cousins
we want to win 17 games. But
because
the
he.
thing is this.
Well, I'm
The
just
thing is
saying,
the
Black.
thing
I'm
is
just
this.
saying. I don't want to. I don't
So
want to
what's
win
better? So what's
7-8
better?
games with
So
Kirk
what's better?
Cousins
So
because that
what's
means
better?
nothing to us
What
because we drafted a quarterback at
How many
number
games do you think?
one.
How many games do you think that
That needs to
Fernando
be
will
out
win?
there
How many games?
learning.
How many games do you think Fernando will win if we started him week
I
one?
don't care. That's the thing, Black. I don't care how many he wins. I want him out there learning. I don't want him standing
You
on
don't.
the
You know,
sideline
there's more than one way to
watching a
learn, right?
37-year-old Kirk Cousins
Yeah. You know what?
think and dunk, bro.
Um,
I don't want that. I
after
want
today,
our
I am not
number one
addressing
pick,
this
our
quarterback situation
Ferrari.
no more.
Like, look,
I'm
like
not.
I said to you, Black, our
I'm not.
Ferrari. I want it out the garage, bro. Like, I want him
No.
out there on the field learning. And
Okay.
Black,
Whatever.
I don't know if you remember, bro, but I asked you a few days ago to look at Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? He was the number one overall pick.
He's part of that
Quarterback.
25, 82, and 2.
And
You
look
know
at
that,
where
right?
Chicago's at now. They a
You want to know
problem.
why?
They a
You want to know
problem.
why? You want to know why? We don't know how much of a problem it is because they only had one good year. So don't sit there and act like they world beaters already because they're not.
I'm just saying. Listen, Black. I'm just
They
saying
they they they, they
they
gotta they
you
bro.
gotta think about them now. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they gonna be great for years. I'm just saying
So
they a
so so
problem
so
now.
so so
Chicago in
so
the NFC North, Chicago a problem.
so
And
a 3-win team don't want to bring a quarterback in that can potentially win 7 games. What we want to do is we want to put a quarterback out there. We don't know what he's gonna do, but we don't even care what his record gonna be. That's what you're telling me?
that's no. Well, I'm telling you, when you draft a quarterback number one at the number one pick, he got to be out there, bro.
No, he don't. No, he
Yeah,
don't.
dude.
I could tell you a team that didn't do it and they had a lot of success doing it. You want me to tell you what team has done that? It's called
Don't take me back to when I was wearing baggy jeans and sagging my pants,
I'm
bro.
not. I'm not. I'm gonna tell you about a quarterback that's playing right now. I'm gonna tell you about Jordan Love. You know how many seasons he sat? He sat 3 seasons. And you know what his record
Was
was
he
when
the
he first
number
came?
one pick overall?
Yes. Yes.
No, he
Was
wasn't.
Jordan Love, hold on, was Jordan Love a number one pick?
He was a first rounder, but he was
Hold on,
not
hold
the
on, hold on,
number
hold on,
one
hold
pick.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
He was not the first overall, but he was drafted in the first round.
Okay, so he wasn't the
Thank
number
you.
one pick. He wasn't the number one pick. Okay, but I'll tell you. So what I'll tell you is not always about just a direct correlation, but I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So since we're gonna say since he's a number one pick, and I'm telling y'all these number one picks have won 25 games in the last 10 years. So
And
that
no,
should be
Black,
enough.
not a number one pick, the number one pick.
No, the number one pick, the number one pick that was a quarterback is
Okay.
25 wins in the last 10 years. Now, if you want to take let's take the best quarterback that's playing right now. He sat. Look at what he done. I'm gonna
Wait,
tell you,
were they the number one
bro. You
pick
keep saying
or a
we
first
already
round
talked
pick?
about number one pick. The number one
No,
pick has
not
won
because
25
Black.
games.
I think your numbers are skewed, bro.
No, they're
I
not
think you're
skewed,
looking
bro.
at first round
No, I'm
quarterbacks
not, bro. I said this
versus
over and over. Stop saying
versus
that.
number
Stop
one
saying that.
quarterback.
No, number one pick. If the number one pick in the draft is quarterback
Okay, give me
such
them
and
numbers
such.
so I can
That's
look
who
at
I'm talking about. They're 25, 82, and 2. In the last 10 years, these number one picks that were quarterbacks won 25 games. 25 games and lost 82 games and tied 2 times. And
And
all I'm saying is,
who were they, Black?
bro, I've done
State
hella
their
lives.
names, please.
I've done hella lives of that.
Peyton
And the
Manning.
people in the chat, bro, I'll name them in a few minutes. But let me just say this: you don't have to start somebody just because they're number one. You don't. You have a choice. You can either have them sit or you don't. I mean, and the franchise that showed us that is that you don't have to do that is the Packers. They did it with Aaron Rodgers, and he came in and he played well. You know who played even better than
So
Aaron
let me
Rodgers
ask
in
you
his
this,
rookie
Black.
year?
Are you good? You good with sitting Fernando this year and letting Kirk Cousins, who's not gonna be here other than 1 year.
You're saying that. You don't know that.
No,
You don't know that.
Hear me out, Black. Hear me out, brother. Are you good with sitting Fernando where he could be learning and observing and all those things in real time? You would sit him behind Kirk Cousins, who's only going. Do you think Kirk Cousins is going to be here next year?
So you ask me multiple questions. Let me answer all these questions that you keep asking me, but y'all cannot answer the question I keep asking y'all. But the answer to your question is I'm beyond good with it. I'm great with it. And the second thing to your question is, do I think Kirk Cousins is going to be here next year? I think if we win 8 or 9 games, yes, I think he's going to be here.
Why would we do that, Black?
Okay, let me answer some more of y'all questions that y'all got. The reason why is, how does a 3-win team get so finicky that if a quarterback comes in and win 8 or 9 games that got us on the brink of the playoffs, that we're going to say, nah, we're going to go put this guy in because he's the number one pick in the draft? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But let me ask you a question. Now, hopefully you can answer it. Who do you think know more about football? Kubiak or me and you?
Or you said Kubiak or who?
Yeah. Me and you. I'll put us together. Me and you. Who do you think knows more about football? Klint Kubiak or you and me? Combined. Me and you
come
combined.
on, Black. That's a that's
No, just
that's a
answer the
crazy
question.
bro.
I didn't do that to y'all questions. I answered them. Can you just answer the question? Who do you
I
think
didn't ask
know?
any questions.
I'm
I'm
just
talking about
saying,
the
bro.
nation.
Like,
No,
why
just
would
answer
we
the
put all
question.
this stock
Answer the question.
into
Who do you think? No, answer the
into
question.
Kirk Cousins when
Bro,
we know
answer the question.
he's only going
Answer the
to be here
question.
for 1 year? Honestly,
Answer the question. Who knows more about football? Klint Kubiak or me and you combined? Who knows more football? Okay, I'll answer it for you. Klint Kubiak knows more football than you and I do. And guess what? Klint Kubiak says I'm sitting him. So guess what? I'm going to lean on his understanding more than yours and mine. No matter how I feel about Fernando, because me personally, I would love to throw him out there. Me personally, Black, the quarterback, the Raider bad guy, I would love to see him out there. But I know that we have a competent quarterback that can show him how to play the game to a level where we don't have to hit rock bottom with our number one pick. because I know if he sits a year, he will come in and win 5 or 6 games. That's what I'm thinking. But if we put him out there right now, since y'all didn't never want to answer this question, I think that we put him out there right now, he'll win 4 games. So you're telling me we're going to put our number 1 pick out there just to like net gain 1 game because we won 3 games last year. If we was going to do that, we could start Aiden O'Connell from week 1. If we're going to do that, because I think Aiden O'Connell can win us more than 3 games. It's just that simple. It's not about how I feel. It's about I'm looking at the tea leaves. Matter of fact, I'm listening to what the coaches are saying. I'm listening to what Mendoza said. Mendoza just said yesterday, I'm far away from being ready. So he's saying that. So why do y'all keep trying to throw him on the field when he himself is telling us he's not ready? Can you answer that question? Why would you put him out there and he said he's not ready? I'm ready. Oh, he not here. Okay, so anybody tell me that. Go ahead, Twan.
Look,
Cook, bro.
you know that there's really not much cooking for me to say. You know what I'm saying? I've already phrased it as a title, and those that are you know, no offense to anybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even, it's not even a negative, you know what I'm saying, taking it as a negative you personally, but you know, whoever that is, but you know, that's the nandosexuals, you know what I'm saying? There's a fetish about bringing this guy out when he has said, you know what I'm saying? Like you can take, you know, yeah, Kirk Cousins said it, you know what I'm saying? But you don't, okay, let's not believe that. Klint Kubiak has said it. Okay, if you don't want to believe the head coach, that's fine. But when he himself, Fernando Mendoza himself, has said that he's not ready, why are we throwing this guy out there? Now, number 1 overall, I get that because I was on that same boat. If you're number 1 overall, you should be ready to go. But that's not the case with us right now. And because we're in a position where we have 2 guys that can hold it down until our franchise guy is ready, then that's what we have to do. If it please, Nando, the people that are classified as nandosexuals, refer back. And this is something that Raider Twan has said. This is something that the chaplain of the nation has tagged as the group. Because remember, we had Derek Carr stands. This is the nandosexuals now. Okay, go back and listen to everything that Fernando Mendoza said that he needs to work on as to why he's not ready. One thing, let me highlight it. So you and let me do Reading Rainbow. After listening to this, don't take my word for it. Go watch it yourself. One thing he said, point 1, protections. Yeah. So we want this young quarterback to get behind a line and not know his protections so that he's immediately running for his life. Okay. Let nanosexuals, let's look past that. Okay. Second thing, he does not know the playbook. Mind you, we knew we were drafting Mendoza. So when we knew we were drafting Mendoza and he came in for his visit, one of the things that was spoken, but that was not spoken, was that he already had the playbook. So he's already had time looking and diving into this playbook before. And then let's break it down even further. Didn't he go talk to a starting quarterback to learn the West Coast offense? Because the offense that he was running was not what the West Coast offense was. But we want this guy to get behind this offensive line that he does not know the protections. Yeah, let's throw this guy out there and see how that works out for us, so that we can go back into the draft next year, and that we can go back into week 12, where some of these content creators were twerking and dancing to the team that says just win, baby, is cheering that we should be tanking. Do we want to go through that again? So I don't care. Listen, this is Raider Twan. Listen to this Raider gospel. I don't care if Mendoza doesn't come out and play until his 5th year. Because my hope is that hopefully by his 5th year, after we have everything solidified, after we have the offensive line that's the best offensive line in the NFL, we got the weapons to get it done, we got the running backs to get it done, and the defense ready to go, that when this quarterback finally gets his first snap, that he's getting ready to march us to a Lombardi. Because we're not for the short term. We're here for the long term. So if it takes a little longer for Mendoza to get it right, then that's exactly what we need to do. Because I am tired and I am ashamed of some of these people that call themselves Raiders fans that were calling for us to tank. There's no tanking in Raider Nation. And you know who I learned that from? Violator himself. So if you got an issue, go talk to Violator about tanking and see what he tells you about it. You guys got to get it. How many times do these guys got to go up there and explain this to us? How many lives have me and Black have gone over this topic over and over ad nauseum? That's why the term Nandosexuals came about. Because it's an uncontrollable fetish at this point.
Yes.
Almost like some of you guys are laying in bed with Fernando Mendoza.
And that's why and y'all never see Twine like this. I'm like that because I keep hearing it over and over, and I've been chilled. If y'all want me to go there, that's what gets me there. And I'm like, look, if y'all want to shop at the Lululemon,
Hold on. And by no means, you guys, I'm saying all of this in love, but I'm just saying, look at all the information we received. Again, don't take my word for it. Go listen to these press conferences. Go. I know there's somewhere that you can get the transcripts on what was said at these press conferences and start highlighting all this stuff and dive it down for yourselves. Because obviously we telling you guys this and you guys are not taking it for what they're saying is going to happen. Tom Brady from the get was talking about how he wants the quarterback to sit. There goes another point. Sorry, Black.
no, you good. No, you good because the Raider bad. That's why I came up with the name the Raider bad guy, because I'm like, I guess I gotta be the guy that keeps saying this over and over, and y'all thinking I'm losing control or being aggressive or whatever. I'm like, I'm tired of hearing it because that's not even how I feel about it. I'm looking at what they're telling us. Like, I'm going off of what they're saying. I want to see him start too. But if he's sitting there, if Fernando say, look, y'all, this offense is next level, and we building something special here, and I ain't got it right now, I appreciate the honesty, and I'm gonna run with that. I'm not gonna sit there and say, well, nah, you the number one pick, get out there. So the moment something don't go right, then the Raider Nation get to being in their feelings again, and we be even worse than last year, and the worse than the year before that. Like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. I'm not trying to see us go through all that for one extra win or two extra wins. and we still picking in the top 5 or top 6. Like that don't make sense. And if these guys are smart about football and we all trust Klint Kubiak and Klint Kubiak saying that, and if the world's best quarterback allegedly is saying that, and why are we listening to that? And the only thing that makes sense is what? Nando-sexual. That's it. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I'm gonna read some of these comments about Kirk Cousins. I want to make sure I do get what you guys said. One thing that was funny was I saw right here by hold on, let me see. Dang it, I just had it. He said it was right here. He said somebody said that he thought I was gonna go back. He thought that Kanye Black was gonna go back to the white T-shirt era because I had a white T on. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna go back to that, but I didn't want to go that far back because I know that sitting the quarterback is beneficial. Playing quarterback, watching somebody else play quarterback that was better than me helped me learn the game. That applies to every position, but especially the quarterback position. But
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. So I'm
No,
gonna find his comments.
And let me take a quick sip. If you look at the guys that had success by sitting, that allowed the rest of the team around them to get better. When Jordan Love came in, and we saw the success of Jordan Love. When Patrick Mahomes came in, and we saw the success of that. When Aaron Rodgers even came in, and we saw the success of Aaron Rodgers, the offensive line was already solidified. There was no questions about how that offense. I'm not saying they were the top of the top, but they were a competitive offensive line. Okay, the weapons knew exactly what they needed to do. The wide receivers were ready to go. The running back was already on the roster. You know what I'm saying? By the time it was time for that young quarterback to get out there. And yes, that quarterback still, when he gets out there, there's going to be some learning process. But when you have the pieces around him where there's not too many questions about that, that is when you're setting your player for the best possible success. And right now, can we really say, sometimes we got to take off our Raider hat. Can we really say that we have all the pieces, not only just on paper, but are they gelled enough in order for a young quarterback to get behind that? Are we really trusting this? It has this new offensive line that we got gelled. What everybody talking about? We need wide receivers. Why? Because there's question marks at wide receiver on who's going to actually step up and who's going to be in place. So you got the line that has questions, the wide receivers that have questions, on top of a quarterback that doesn't know his protections yet and doesn't really fully know the playbook. And again, you want that player to take the field?
They're saying they want the best player to play, and and Fernando clearly is saying, I am not the best player. Like I'm not. I'm confused. I'm very confused. I'm confused. You want to know why I'm confused? Because I'm trying to make sense out of nonsense. And that's why Pizzle don't like talking about this, because we beat this conversation up so much. Like, for real, we didn't beat that conversation up so much. He like, matter of fact, I don't even want to really talk about it no more, but I got to keep talking about it because it keeps coming up. And I thought that they already quelled it by when Klint Kubiak said, look, we like what we saw out of 58-year-old Kirk Cousins during OTAs and all that. He's as advertised as I thought he was. I hadn't had him in a few years. I've seen him in OTAs. His velocity looked right. He didn't say the velocity looked right, but whatever was the metric, he said, this is our guy. He's going to get the starting rotations. Hell of them. He said he's going to get a gang of them. And yet still we like, nope, no, No, he's the number one pick. And I'm like, that's the only reason? Because he's the number one pick? Y'all trying to get the boy killed. That's what y'all trying to do. Um, Jack Kenna, I love you, bro. Kenna, you are a staple in this community. I love you, bro. I really do. You're my Raider brother. I love you. Now, I know one thing. I get that this is the chaplain. Now, nandosexual is not no bad term. Like that's just like saying homosexual is a bad
Or
term. It's a,
heterosexual.
or heterosexual. It's a legit term. It's not nothing demonic about that or anything. So I don't have a problem with it. You have the right to have a problem with it. I'm just saying, let's not take it that. Please don't take it that far because I got a good idea of Twine's heart based on the fruits that he has. That I've seen the fruit that he bears. And I don't think he means that in any other way other than what he's saying. So please have some understanding. Please do, because I'm not going to stop him from saying it. Matter of fact, I dang near might start saying it. And then I'm going to lose subscribers. Because anytime I lose subscribers is when we have this conversation. And I play quarterback and I'm quarterbacking and I'm like, bro, if in this situation, this is what Kubiak is saying. Like, even on my own personal level, because like I said, I want Fernando to play. But if, like Quan said, if it takes 5 years for us to get it together and he hit the field and he doing his Dougie, he doing his big one, it was worth the wait. I mean, we protected our our investment. Why just stick him out there? Because then what if he does? What if the game is too big for him? And what I mean by that is the league catches up with him in the first year. Now he got to play catch up, and he's already playing catch up. He hadn't even had a full off season yet. Like let's be a little understanding. And like I said, Jack, I'm not speaking for Twine. I'm just speaking from where I sit when it comes to that. Now, if Twine want to address that, I give him every ample opportunity to do so.
No, I stand on mine. You know what I'm saying? One thing in the word it tells you is let your yeses be yeses and your nos be nos. I said it, and I'm the one that tagged it. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's not necessarily a negative. It's not in the negative context. It's just identifying a group of people that cannot see past the facts that are given. You know what I'm saying? Yes, like I said, all of us, if you watch earlier when I was talking about it, trying to explain what a nandosexual is, yeah, we're all Raider fans. We all should be fans of the players that come to this team. But when you are in a state where you are ignoring the facts that are provided for you in regards to that player, then it becomes more than just being a fan. It's gone beyond that. So yeah, I'm identifying those group of people as nandosexuals. And there's again, I love you, you know what I'm saying? I love nandosexuals, whoever that may be. So right. it is what it is. Now I will kind of change the topic a little bit so we can move a little forward, but it still stays in that quarterback vein. What happens if obviously Kirk Cousins is a starter. Let's say we have a great season with the Raiders and Kirk Cousins goes out there and we win 10, 11, 12 games. And we go into, the season's over. Are we immediately going to Fernando Mendoza or are we letting it roll? I really want to know your question, your answer. Would you guys be? Would it be an automatic hard go to Mendoza or hey, Kirk Cousins had us 12 wins. We were obviously that was enough to get us in the playoffs, maybe getting close to the second round. Run it back. What say you?
So let me ask you this question real quick. Maybe this might help because I'm gonna answer it as well. Would you rather win 4 games with Mendoza or 6 games with Kirk Cousins?
My shield tells me just win, baby. I don't know what I don't know what other people's shields say, but my shield says just win.
And 6 is more than 4. And my answer is yes. I would rather have Kirk Cousins win 6 games more than 4 because you know what? 6 games is twice as many as we won last year. 4 is only 1 game more. We almost won one more extra game. We just lost it at the end. So like we didn't. That's not much progression at all. I mean, like if you put a number one quarterback out there, you would think you would win more than uh the 3 games that you did last year. But see, they threw Cam Ward out there, number one pick. They won 3 games or 4 games or something like that. They won the same amount of games. Now, the beauty about him is he took his lumps and didn't get injured. That's a positive, net positive. But trust me, they didn't have no other quarterbacks on that roster that could have played to the level that he played. So, yes, I would rather have 6 games with Kirk Cousins than 4 with Fernando. Now, Cat, can you guys answer that question? What you guys feel about that? Let me read these comments about Kirk Cousins because I want to move it forward to Kirk Cousins then instead of talking about Fernando, the third string quarterback. He said, Jet Li said, I wanted Kyler Murray over Kirk Cousins. Both the same price tag, and Kyler is more mobile with better footwork coming off the center. I can see Kirk is still bothered with that leg injury. Why the hell would you want to start him right now when you're not sure about the wide receivers and O line? Frank Weber, the truth hurts. I know Kyler's going off this season, Mark. Remember this talk. We're not even sure Kyler going to start where he at. We ain't even sure about that. Okay.
The reason, part of the reason why we decided to go with Cousins was because Cousins has rapport with our head coach. I know Kyler Murray might have been more of has some more tangibles than the mobility aspect of it. But the whole reason, again, the reason why Kirk Cousins is here is because he's helping establish that offense. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's coaching I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins is the head coach, but he as a guy that's familiar with the terminology and what needs to be done on that offense can help, you know what I'm saying, speed us up. You know what I'm saying? Get Trey Tucker and nail, all the starters on speed. You know what I'm saying? Get as much as we love Brock Bowers, get Brock Bowers in a situation where he's not only knowing the playbook, but the nuances within the playbook where, okay, we're in this coverage, Brock Bowers, I need you to break it off and sit down. You know what I'm saying? Certain things like that are things that him as a veteran, he's able to clarify because he's gone through this, you know what I'm saying? Not gone through an essence of what Kubiak's playbook is. So that's why he's here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's bringing to the table. So let Kirk Cousins, as much as you may not like him, allow him to set the foundation for this future quarterback. I'm with Fernando. Let him be the future guy, but let's establish something. Let's establish the foundation before we put this guy out there on some, on some quicksand or something.
Yeah, you want to build a foundation on rock, not sand. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing if we put Fernando out there, especially when we don't have to. Comment. Perfect scenario. Kirk is playing good, but Mendoza is showing great progress in practice. Another team fighting for a playoff. QB goes down, and we can trade Kirk and keep AOC as a cheap backup.
Yeah.
Okay, that could be a possibility. I just don't think that's a probability. I think AOC is up out of here.
It's definitely a variable.
Yeah. Keep Kirk if he give us 12 wins. If Kirk get us 12 wins, you know what? I'm just gonna accept that. You're right.
Black. What was you about to say, dog?
12 wins. If Kirk Cousins get us 12 wins, Fernando better sit down until Kirk Cousins retire. Straight up. Straight up. And as far as go ahead.
No, I'm saying like because everybody, there's a lot of people. I'm not saying everybody, but a good majority of some of the people in Raider Nation are like, we're gonna have a great season. Well, if we have a great season with Kirk Cousins, like I'm not gonna move off of Kirk Cousins just because Fernando is showing some promise behind him. Like, nah, we about to ride Kirk Cousins until the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? And
For
then
sure.
you know what I'm saying, and then later on, maybe if Kirk Cousins get hurt or something like that, or Kirk Cousins says, "Hey, I'm gonna I'm gonna move my way out of here," then okay, yeah, Fernando, it's been on you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the same thing with Jordan Love. Like Kirk, Aaron Rodgers was playing well. Like I forgot how many wins they was getting. Almost like they was getting almost like 12 wins every year. You know what I'm saying? Until
Yeah.
they, he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna move on and da, 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 da. So
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
need to be okay with that if that's the case. I'm not saying I personally I don't think we'll be 12 wins. You know what I'm saying? But if that was the case, I'm not just going, thank you for the 12 wins and thank you for the playoff win that we haven't had in I don't know how many years. Let's go ahead and move on from you. Like, nah.
And Aaron Rodgers made sure Jordan Love stayed on the bench.
Yeah.
Right, and
Because
and when you talk about pushing the quarterback, that's how you push the quarterback. Because look, they know that Aaron Rodgers knew that they drafted this quarterback, so of course he gonna feel some type of way, right? Because his fans gonna say, "Well, we just drafted a quarterback. We need to move on. Well, we haven't won nothing with him since then, so we need to move on." So you push him by bringing that guy on, and it worked until Aaron Rodgers was like, "I'm over it." You know what I'm saying? And that's what ended up happening.
and Aaron
Now, as
and
far go
oh
ahead.
sorry. And,
No, you good.
and Aaron Rodgers knew what time it was because where's he at? He's at the same practice that Jordan Love was at. So he saw Jordan Love cooking behind him, you know what I'm saying? So he knew that like, hey, I better get my stuff, as long as I want to stay here, I better get my stuff together. That's what Klint Kubiak is trying to establish here. What did Klint Kubiak say? Kirk Cousins is a starter, but we need the guys behind him to push him. How do you do that? Fernando Mendoza need to be throwing some good balls at practice. He need to be, progressing. AOC needs to be throwing good balls, and he need to be progressing too. Like that's how you create a good team.
Yeah. And as far as the contract, Alfredo, the contract was written that way so that way we could get Kirk Cousins in the building without having to spend hella bread because Atlanta paid for most of it. We got him on a discount. So we going to kick the tire on that because we got a good discount. Now, in the event that we do decide to keep Kirk Cousins next year, what'll happen is the Raiders have a team option. They will decline the team option because it's a 50 million or whatever the number is to retain him. And then what they'll do is they'll sit down and renegotiate the contract or extend the contract so it'll be more player friendly or more franchise friendly, and then we'll rock with him again. And if Kirk says, "Nah, I think I can get more money over here if I start over there because I just showed that I can bring this team out the gutter and win us twice as many games as they have, or in this case, 12 or even 8 or 9." Like another team gonna be like, "Yeah, well, he still got something in that old arm." So we can he can simply walk away. But as far as paying them 50 million next year, because that's what the contracts say today, that's not a real thing. It's essentially a 1 year contract.
And if that was the situation, you know what I'm saying, where Kirk Cousins is got us 12 wins and we try and negotiate keeping him here, but Fernando Mendoza it has been showing that he's ready to go, then we're in a position where we're good if we do and we good if we don't. Hey, look, hey, that at that point, if you want to, play with us on that situation. Hey, okay, goodbye, Cousins. We glad to pull out Mendoza because Mendoza's ready to go. But at least again, we got in a position where we allowed time for Mendoza to be ready to go.
Raider Age Straight says, I've never known Raider fans to be so sensitive, and I'm damn near 50. Bro, that's the reason why my this is Decision Sports I do all the sports. I've done hockey games. I've done tennis matches. I've done. I covered all of Shadur's college career. I've done all that. But what made me niche all the way down to just Raider fans, because I was like, where did we get this sensitivity from? We like Ralph Tresvant. Like they are so sensitive. And Ralph ain't even that sensitive. So I'm like, what's going on? So I said, let me get into the trenches and see why we are so sensitive about what's going on, and that's where I am right now. That's why y'all see me blow up at times because I'm like, this is a pressure point, and this is a point that needs to be addressed. Now, 6 wins is not enough for me to pay Cousins. Trust me, the Raiders are not going to overpay Cousins. Uh, they're not going to give him $50 million. They're not. So here's the question: and all the new people that I haven't seen, welcome, welcome. We have fiery debates here. I mean, and it's all love, nothing personal. But I'm going to quell this down a little bit and start holding it off until Friday because on Fridays, y'all, on Fridays, we're going to have Fight or Flight Club where you can come and you can get off where you're mad at. And we're going to have structured debate, no disrespect, no ad hominem attacks. We're going to attack the point, not the person. That's the one thing I do like about this channel is that we do not attack each other because I'm not going to tell you how to rate her. I'm not going to do that, but I ain't going to let y'all drive me to the Lululemon either. I'm not doing that. So,
Right.
so let me see. It says, but but would you bench Kirk next year if he only won 6? The answer should be yes. So if you bench Kirk, then who you gonna put in? Fernando? And what you think he gonna win? More than 6 games? Y'all think that? 25, 82, and 2.
It's
Jack Kennedy. Go
oh
ahead.
no,
No, go ahead.
it's really going to play on the variable. Yeah, there's going to be multiple factors as to why they decide. Okay, yeah, because again, yeah, 6 wins with Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, we may need to move on, but it would have to be that the why did we lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it what is the offensive line solidified? Is the wide receivers, you know what I'm saying, doing what they need to do, and the reason why we're losing was because of Kirk Cousins, or what are the factors? You know what I'm saying? Is Fernando Mendoza actually really ready to go? You know what I'm saying? So it with 6 wins, I'm not in the mode of trying to re-up on that. Now, like I said, the number, like I said, 10, 12, 11 wins, you know what I'm saying? I might have to relook at Cousins again. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that's a playoff team. You know what I'm saying? If we're 10, 11, 12 wins. So if we're doing that, I'm not just going to automatically drop, you know what I'm saying, a hot iron. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying, just to move on from Mendoza. We got Mendoza for 5 years. You know what I'm saying, under a rookie contract. So we're not necessarily in a rush, or we shouldn't be in a rush to put him out there if, again, Kirk Cousins is producing, you know what I'm saying, in play. Again, it's just win over here. So if Kirk Cousins is producing, yeah, go let Mendoza sit, and then we'll see that. But if it's just 6 wins, but Mendoza is good to go, then we can make that transfer, in my opinion.
Yeah, mine too. Jack Kennedy said, honestly sick about the topic. It's like talking about my boy DC Ford. Sorry, boys. Don't be sorry. I am tired of it. Juan is tired of it. But just because I'm tired of it don't mean I'm gonna be in collusion with people by being silent about it. I'm not doing that. Sorry. Y'all just gonna have to be tired of me talking about it until the season start when it's a non-factor. Because as much as it keep coming up, I'm gonna keep on having to say something. I don't say something every time I hear something. But when I start seeing that these narratives keep pushed, that's going to divide us in the future, even up until this point, I'm going to say something because that's why we're so sensitive because there's nobody here checking y'all. That's why. And when I say y'all, I don't mean you, Jack Kenna. I'm talking about the nation as a collective. Nobody is checking it. Everybody just going along, living in this fantasy world. And then when it don't pan out the way they hope and feel, then they want to crash out and hate the Raiders and don't want to do lives no more or don't want to talk about the Raiders no more and then talk about it when it's only convenient. And I'm not that guy. But Webb said he always got those gems. He says, I get you, Kenna. Sometimes you hunt for a bear, but end up shooting squirrels. So let me see. Not enough people are appreciating and enjoying the quarterback room that our staff has pieced together. Facts. What's your game plan to give Fernando all this time? You gotta keep AOC then. Well, okay, that could be true. But then we have another quarterback that's in the room that's going to be trying to take AOC job. AOC is on the end of his contract. So if he really truly wants to go start somewhere, which he probably could find some places, a couple places that he can fight for a starting position. I'm all with it. Once a Raider, always a Raider when it comes to that. Webb said I'm already in Fight or Flight Club preseason.
Yeah.
He said we appear to be in fight or flight preseason. Right,
We
right.
warming up. Get ready. Hey, look, this is my dialysis day, so I ain't even got all my energy, dog. Just saying.
Right. Yeah. So Cash Lord Raiders say he's 37. Stop it. He's not Braun. Well, guess what? 37-year-old Kirk Cousins, because he'll turn 38 during the season. 37-year-old Kirk Cousins went 5-3 last year, won 4 games in a row. You want to know the last time the Raiders won 4 games in a row? 2019. So I don't know what y'all looking for. I don't know what y'all looking for. I don't.
I with Cashler, I think he jumped in late in the scenario that I posed. I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to win 12 wins, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if they did win 12 wins, are we just automatically going to scrap? You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins and move on from him after a 12 win season. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the scenario. That's hypothetical. I don't think again. I don't think we're my prediction is somewhere in the 5 area. You know what I'm saying? And you can take that or leave it. But again, just a hypothetical. If Kirk Cousins surprised us and got us to a 12-win season, are we just kicking him out and bringing in Fernando Mendoza, or are we actually letting Kirk Cousins, you know what I'm saying, continue that winning streak with us?
Yes, Peyton Manning did have 4 wins his rookie season, but I bet you if Peyton Manning had a veteran quarterback that he sat behind that first year, I bet you that first year he played, he would have won more than 4 games. That's the beautiful scenario that we have. And yes, you do typically start a young quarterback with a young team. That's because they don't have anybody else. We do. But let me talk about what Kirk Cousins is doing right now at 37/38. Because in camp so far, even though he looked like he had sandbags on his back, I will say that he did throw an interception in practice. He did look slow in that drill, but what he did do is he killed practice with throwing several touchdowns. We practiced something that we really need to work on, and I think that we will improve in is the red zone. He killed the red zone today. He threw multiple touchdowns, I think like 3 to 4, but let's say 3. And Brock Bowers went crazy for sure. He gonna go crazy. So they're seeing something with Kirk Cousins that is giving him the confidence to name him the starter in the preseason. I think that's him naming the starter for the season, period. But I know that the Raider Nation ain't ready to hear that. And that's why we keep having this conversation, because there's a faction of the Raider Nation that's just not trying to hear it because they still shopping at the Lululemon. You have to lose. You have to lose. Let me see. Here they come. Here they come. It said, but Kirk had the best O line in London, and we only got Bowers in the mid O line, which even give me more reason not to put Fernando out there, because if you have a quarterback that's seasoned, he helps the quarterback, he helps the O-line by not putting them in peril because he knows where to go with the ball. He's not going to be fooled that much. And that helps the O-line mature faster. But if we put a person out there that don't know the protections with a line that's trying to figure it out, that's a recipe for disaster. But we're gonna ignore the fact that he said he ain't ready though. That's the part y'all keep losing me there. He said you guys must have must win. Mendoza said, when I'm in there, we are better. No, yeah, I did miss that. He said when he's in there, he's better than Kirk Cousins. Is that what you're saying? Because that would be a direct contradictory to all the things he's been saying this offseason.
Right.
It would have said, my oh my, 510. I love that nickel and dime. He says, hey, Twine, thank y'all for hacking in. Make sure y'all hit that like button on both of the channels, please. He said, he don't know if you ready without the snaps. So if Fernando says you do know. What do you think? See, this is why a lot of times players don't play, is because they don't know the playbook. They don't know where to line up. And if you don't know that, you know he's not ready to play. And he's came out and said that he's not at that point. And for us to expect that is crazy. Because I don't know if you guys understand how difficult it is to not only remember the name of the calls of the play, but how to actually execute said plays and the number of plays it is. He has to get that comfortability. Why not? Why we can't allow him to do that? Because he's the number one pick? Let's see. You need live action. All right. Well,
Live action and know the playbook and protections that he's saying that he does not have yet.
I mean, first round pick, number one pick or not, you could say that about any number one first round quarterback then, because any quarterback or any player that's drafted in the first round should be a day one starter. For the most part, yes. So if they I guess what's the quarterback in what's the quarterback at Kansas City? Mahomes. He sat a whole year. He played the last game of the season because they already clinched. Like, you don't think that's that benefited him? Or should they just started him week one because he was the first round pick? I would think if you asked Mahomes, did he benefit by sitting, it would be an emphatic yes.
I see. I would say something, but I'm gonna let them live.
It said Cam Ward is better this year, right? Because his reps. No, wait. Well, you have to wait because we don't know what he is this year. We haven't even played this year. We could have said the same thing about dude at Washington. He came in and they was cooking. Jaden Daniels. And look what happened to him the second year. And guess what? So now the league is caught up with him now because he doesn't have the same team that he did back then. So we don't know what Jaden Daniels gonna do. We don't know what Cam Ward gonna do. Now, would I say is Cam better because he took his lumps? Yes, I would agree. But we don't know how many games that's gonna translate to. Because we don't know yet. So while you're waiting, I'm gonna wait too. Yeah, the point is that he played. Yes, and the point that I'm making is the quarterbacks that did play went 25, 82, and 2. So what part of that is what part of that? How do you circumvent that?
And
I'm talking about these are the Joe Burrows, these are the Cam Wars, this is the Iceman, this is Jameis Winston. I'm talking about like good quarterbacks in the league. 25, 82, and 2. Go ahead, brother.
No, and some of these quarterbacks that they want to identify were in pro style offenses, and some of them were already familiar with the West Coast offense. That wasn't the situation in regards to Mendoza. So he's starting from, yes, he can throw the ball well. Yes, he can, you know what I'm saying, read the linebacker and know, okay, I need to turn this into a pass or whatever, or whatever the situation in regards to RPO. But a West Coast offense, learning how to digest a West Coast offense, not only just digest it, but regurgitate it and be able to communicate that to all parties involved, because you are the quarterback. That's something that Mendoza needs time to learn. So because we have the benefit of a veteran, then that allows Mendoza the time to get the whole playbook, not just, oh, we're going to run 30% of this playbook, because that's all that Mendoza knows at this point. You don't want to be out there with half of the tools in your toolbox. You want to have as many tools as you can in your toolbox before you get out there. So if we can allow Mendoza that time to do that, then so be it.
So shrink the playbook and run it more. What are we talking about? That's Klint Kubiak that. That's Klint Kubiak why he won't shrink the playbook. That's Klint Kubiak why because this is not a Black thing. This is not a Raider Twine thing. We're going off what we're being told. I've already told you guys, if it was me, I would like to see him start week 1 too. But if I had a Kirk Cousins on the roster, wait a minute. Maybe we got the luxury of not throwing him out there. And we put Kirk Cousins out there and he looking like he running for his life all the time and scared to death and hit that wall that Max Kellerman said that Tom Brady was going to hit, then yeah, put him in. But I'm like, if he's saying that he's not ready, I'm not putting him out there. What are y'all talking about? Why would you want to put somebody out there when he said I'm clearly not ready? Why? But what I'm going to do, though, for you guys, though, what I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to try my hardest not to have this conversation no more. And please try to hold me to it. Like, if we, I thought you said we wasn't.
I'm usually my brother's keeper, but if someone comes in, I gotta give him that fire. I gotta give him that Raider gospel, because no matter what, and Black, this is the same thing that you gotta do. We're up here and we try to give you guys not only just the facts, but we give you facts, and we also give you opinions. But if we say something that ain't right, what happens in the chat? We get grilled for it. So we got to stand on our 10. We can't allow, you know what I'm saying, some of this foolishness that goes on, you know what I'm saying, to go on without saying, nah, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Or this is actually what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does it say if someone was like, oh, Mendoza should start? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Mendoza should start. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, no, like that's
I
not
ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. I might just
gotta
plead the
stand
fifth.
on business. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Like, how many times has it been seconded, thirded, fourthed? You know what I'm saying? And confirmed that this is what we're doing, and people still fail to accept it. Like, so
right.
as much as you may not want to talk about it, and look, I don't want to talk about it, but like, if it gets to a point where it needs to be said, maybe you need to make sure you clip that whole interview of Mendoza saying that he's not ready, so we could just put that up there instead of us wasting our voices. Because that if you can't accept it from the guy that you love so much, then we can't help you at all. And that goes back to my phrase, Nando-sexuals. It's that sad. But if we just need to make that a you know what I'm saying, like the click button, then that's what we need to do until you guys get it, so we don't have to hear it anymore.
This is the mantra right here for them. But he was the number one pick in the draft.
I wasn't trying to go here, Black, but if you feel that much about it, because I was at that point, but now I'm understanding this is what the organization is going to do, I have to accept it. But since you can't accept it, then you have to take, this is the narrative that you now have to take. If you keep saying that he's the first overall, but he's not, and obviously he's not ready, then you have to take the take that the Las Vegas Raiders should have never picked Mendoza at number 1 overall. Because by your take, this is your guys' take. By your take, you said the first overall has to start, no exceptions.
Right.
And we did not do that. So obviously he's not ready. So if he's not ready, then the Las Vegas Raiders should have never picked Mendoza at number 1 overall. You have to take that take.
Yeah. 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 And then when it pans out in the affirmative, don't start sitting up there talking about that's my quarterback. No, we should have never drafted him according to y'all. Because he didn't start week 1. Yeah, you got to. Fire spy tech. You know what? Frank Webb. He said, I've answered the question. You ain't lying. This is known as the question now. He said, I've answered the question 20 different ways, 100 different times. Ooh. Preseason performance will tell us and have everyone eating crow. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Preseason performance will tell us and have everyone eating crow. So you saying that in the preseason, Fernando's going to show us why that Kirk Cousins shouldn't start? Is that where you hanging your hat? Because I want you to say yes or no to that, so that way, if it pans out the way you say, put hot sauce on my crow, and please put some ketchup and put the ketchup with it, and give me some cornbread. I'm talking about the real kind of cornbread, not no corn muffin. Then I'll eat my crow. But if in the event that it don't work out the way you're saying, I'm gonna need you to have that same energy and tell me how you like your crow prepared. Because I already know that Mendoza is not starting week 1. I've known that since April 3rd. But y'all didn't know. But see, it was louder before Klint Kubiak came out, even before camp, and said, "Hey, this is our guy." And then it was only when then that half of the nation that was Fernando sexuals, half of them decided, okay, well, excuse me, maybe he ain't gonna start. So they got quiet. I don't know if they changed their mind and they're pro Kirk Cousins. I don't think that, but they're at least postponing their judgment or their comments. There's still a faction that says he's gonna start. Y'all gonna have to eat crow. Okay, we're gonna see. And if Twan and myself are accurate, then y'all need to reevaluate how y'all was looking at us in this moment. Reevaluate all them times y'all unsubscribed from my channel because I was talking about AOC, or I was talking about Fernando not starting, or forget all that. As many times I was pro Kirk Cousins. Everybody was saying, I just love Kirk Cousins. It ain't that I love Kirk Cousins. I love competent quarterback play. It's not that I love Kirk Cousins. Y'all hate Kirk Cousins. That's what the issue is.
Let's see how Fernando Mendoza plays against the guy that's going to be delivering your Walmart groceries and the guy that's picking you up in the Uber, and let's make that the indication of if he's a starting quarterback for us
Okay.
week 1.
Yeah.
Let's
He said, "Yep, you need to see it firsthand to jump on board, pops." Okay, I'm gonna let that one slide, right? I'm gonna let that one slide because I'm gonna let that one slide. But I just told you, I've been telling y'all this since April 3rd. You know how all of April, all of May, all of June, all of July. That's 4 months. I've been telling y'all this for 4 months, so I didn't need to see nothing because I already understand it. I understand what they were saying. It didn't even take me that long because I was going off what they were saying. And if I took my own objectiveness and said, okay, let me compare a first year rookie quarterback that played nothing but RPO, only had 3 snaps or 5 snaps his whole college career versus a guy that's thrown for 4,000 yards 7 times. And the Raider franchise only done it 6 times in our whole franchise. 4 times with Derek Carr, 1 time with Carson Palmer, 1 time with Rich Gannon. Y'all should know that by now because I've been saying it all summer. Just like y'all should know 25, 82, and 2. And then they tried to change the metric and then say, well, the last how many years was it? And even the record with that was 17, 47, and 2. Like, man, please, I don't need to see nothing first. I already know it. And if I'm wrong, then I'm dead wrong. But we'll see. Because I've been right up until this point. Because y'all ain't been right. Because first it was AOC hadn't had the proper chance to start. So he should get a chance to start. It should be an equal quarterback competition. Now that y'all kind of see that AOC ain't gonna be the starter, now y'all then migrated to the Mendoza situation. And I'm still telling y'all, even with Mendoza, he ain't starting. Matter of fact, he's about to be the 3rd string quarterback. Shout out to Twine.
Because I was one of the first ones that was talking about that, and everybody was no, and what happened? What happened?
Preseason is 90% of what the fans see and 1% of what the coaches see. I'm gonna let that one marinate.
Hey,
Kirk can't run.
how many ice cubes was that?
That's straight no chaser. No ice cubes. Straight no chaser. Give it to me straight. No chaser. Kirk can't run over three guys, 3 yards guys, and score a rushing touchdown in a championship game. All right. So how did he win? How did he win 5 games last year? In half a season. Because he know how to manipulate the pocket. He know how to navigate the pocket. You don't need to be a running quarterback. We got a running quarterback, Lamar, and how many Super Bowls he won? They're regressing, and he's been an MVP hella times. Preseason is God hungry guys out there trying to earn a spot. No cakewalk, yeah, but not everybody get cake. Just because you go to the prom don't mean you get to bump the prom queen. What's going on, Raider Nation? What is going on with this show? Oh boy, you missed it. If you just popped in, you missed it. You might want to subscribe though, or watch the playback. Because if you're a Nando-sexual, you might not want to subscribe to this channel. Straight up. If you're a Nando-sexual, do not subscribe to this channel because you're gonna be in your feelings every time. Every time. And now that Twan gave me the green light, because y'all already said he was the green dot. When the green dot said, "Oh, I'm blitzing," I could blitz. Because I wasn't going to blitz. I was going to play a little coverage. I wasn't going to placate to y'all and say, yeah. I was just going to say, I don't have no opinion on that. That's what I was going to do. But Green Dot told me, no, you better hit the hole and hit it hard. So guess what I'm about to do? Stand on it.
I'm just saying, no person's gonna get hit and continue to let it happen. I'm just saying, like, either you just don't say nothing and let that person live, or you jump on the conversation, because again, this is getting sad, and somebody needed to classify that group of people. I'm not saying everybody's that way, but someone needed to classify that group of people, and those people are nandosexuals.
For sure. And so you want to say the NFC South was the weakest division? Okay, cool. So now he won 4 games because it was in NFC South. So why didn't Penix win all them games then? The person that they brought in to replace him. Why didn't Penix win? Matter of fact, Penix is so broke up that he ain't even practiced yet. Oh, wait, hold up. Isn't there another quarterback there that's trying to take his job? Oh, yeah, his name is Tua, the concussion kid. Oh, so now they're in a quarterback battle. Oh, but wait. Neither one of them might be ready because you know what? They just brought in the quarterback that used to play for Dallas. Dang, what's my boy name? Oh, Cooper Rush. They just brought in Cooper Rush. So what? What are we talking about? So we can split the hair and say, well, the NFC South was garbage. Okay, they were. They were. Okay, cool. That's fine. I'll give you that. But I'm saying Kirk Cousins is the best option right now, in this moment, right now. Let's see. Ooh, Cousins got the posture of Splinter on the Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Yeah. Carr lost his job in that division too, Spencer Rattler. He didn't lose his job to Spencer. Okay. All right. So now, all right. You know what? I'm going to leave that alone because I don't even want to go down the DC lane.
We're going to be here for another 5 hours, though.
Yeah, for real.
Look.
They said the NFC South is terrible. Be honest. I conceded that to you. Kirk wasn't better than Bryce Young in that division. Sad. All right. Cool. All right. You're right.
Hey, what happened to Bryce Young in the first year of his career?
If you feel so confident about your takes, show up on Friday nights at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Show up on you see Raider Twine. You see who's over his left shoulder. I will be there. Raider Twine will be there too. If you so confident about what you're talking about, then come to the Fight or Flight Club. Because see, I'm not even fighting right now. The only thing I'm fighting right now is the delusion. That's the only thing I'm fighting. So, hey, if you feel so confident about it, show up. That's all I got because I hate yelling on my podcast because really that ain't my default. That's not my default. I'm chill, but I ain't gonna sit here and let people just say things and I'm supposed to just be like, yeah, okay, all right. When I know what you're saying is not based in reality.
It would be one thing if it was if what was said was based on opinion, like your opinion versus, you know what I'm saying, someone else's opinion. Okay, yeah, there might be something, but we have facts that this is what they're doing. So
I'm not late to the party. The party starts next week. How am I late to the party and I'm the creator of the party? And it starts next week, bro. You might not have been on this channel. I've seen you here before, I believe. I actually like the name Cash Lord Raider because it reminds me of Cash Lord Mess. Messy Marv. That's why I call myself the boy black in reference to Mess because a lot of people talk bad about Mess because that's the boy. I love me some Messy Marvin. Like, what's happening? Pull up on him and I'm like, what's happening? I know about Cash Lord. I love that name. So I would know you if you pulled up often over here. I love the name. I love it. All I'm saying is show up on Fridays, 8:30 West Coast time, starting next Friday. and you can get off where you mad at and cam up. That's all I'm saying. Hey, but though, for real though, I love y'all though. We've been here 3.5 hours. This was like an hour and a half show, maybe two at the most.
Like we did 2 lives.
Yeah, we did two live, and I love you. I love the pushback, or whatever y'all want to call it, because then y'all want to start talking about pause about everything, and then I got to sound like Cameron and Dame Dash all the time.
Mm.
I'm not about to pick my words like that because my mind don't go to that way all the time when I'm talking. So, but some things just obviously sound crazy in this time and era. So I will pause sometimes. But I do appreciate y'all, each and every one of y'all, especially the ones that don't agree with me. Just like you're supposed to pray for your enemies, it's a reason why you pray for your enemies. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying y'all my enemy, but I'm just saying I have patience and grace and all that other stuff and love for y'all equally. It's not there's no sliding scale when it comes to that. So I appreciate y'all. I really do. And Twine, I don't know if you got a word for him today. You might can just do a benediction. But
Look,
here you go, my brother.
nah, there ain't no word, so you can pull that back down. Um,
I got the word for today. I got
hey,
you.
hey, Raider Twan on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I think I've given you a whole bunch of words today. So if you can't pick up anything I said within these 3 hours and 30 minutes, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to
I
go
got
to
it.
the doctor and get some, get
Get
that
right.
wax cleaned out. You know what I'm saying? Love each and every one of you guys. You guys cannot do anything, you know what I'm saying, about that, you know what I'm saying, whether you like me or not, you know what I'm saying. I always said I like people more than they like me, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
got love for each and every one of y'all, and in love, my thing is if my love is to tell you when you're right and also tell you when you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of love. So that could be your word. Love could be telling someone when they're right, and love could be telling someone when they're wrong. So don't
Yeah.
hold back the truth. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to you know what I'm saying, be respectful and do it in love, but tell people the truth, because again, I'd rather have someone tell me the truth than someone lie to me.
Yeah. And here's my little quick word for today. One thing I know, I was born into this Raider thing, right? So everything I speak of comes from that place of how much I love the Raiders. I love the fans too, because that's what make the Raiders, other than the play on the field and whatever, whatnot. Yes, sometimes, my tone could be a little off-putting. But for me, I think tone only affects an emotional person, and a lot of times maybe females. I'm not saying that you're a female. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is what you guys are seeing from me is passion and the love I have for the franchise and the love I have the for the fans. Because I hate to see us keep going through this year in and year out because the way that we're processing this information. Men prioritize logic and then emotion. Women prioritize emotion first and then logic. I'm just simply coming from a place of logic, and then I'm inserting my emotion with it. Hey, I'm not going to tell you how to rate her. You can rate her how you like, because the result is going to be the result. Because I'm not calling no plays, I'm not signing no players, and hey, I can only do what I do from where I am. Just like Raider Twine said, love is not a feeling. It is not me supposed to make you feel good. Matter of fact, love is probably the opposite of that. Love is doing it when it's tough. Love is treating you the same when things are in alignment. And I do love you, Raider Nation. I do love you guys for coming here. I appreciate it. I really do. So we appreciate the love. We appreciate the loyalty. You guys already know it's One Nation, Raider Nation, all day, every day. I'm a Raider. He's a Raider. You a Raider. No matter if they from the Bay to LA or Las Vegas. I'm a Raider though.
I'm a Raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.